What's up, guys, and welcome back to episode number 34 of the Chris and Tim podcast. We got Chris, and then we have a nice special guest. What's happening, y'all? Street Scores. How you doing today, man?
What's good, man? Happy to have y'all with me, man. I've been trying to get on y'all show for a minute. Y'all hit me up. You know, we had to make that happen.
There we go. Sweet.
Salute.
Thanks for stopping by. Of course, how you doing today, Chris?
I'm good. I'm all right. Straight.
Always all right. Just all right for Chris. Always just all right. What up, Kenneth Melton? I'm here for the free beer. Oh, shoot. I forgot it. My fault. It's in the mail, right? No, check's in the mail. No. All right, cool. Well, first off, I just wanted to ask Street Scores here a couple of questions. The basics. When and how did you get this channel started? Your Street Scores channel.
So my boy Shay, that I do my Friday show with, when we were in New York together in College St. John's University, he had a radio show and he was like, "Hey man, you should just come up and talk football." Going in there every day, talking all sports, football, basketball. Moved back to Atlanta, and we're both from Atlanta, so he moved back here as well. Okay. And then I was like, you know what? I might as well keep that momentum going. I mean, I had fun. I like talking on a microphone about sports. Again, I was super gaming music. And then I started getting into sports with his radio show at St. John's. And then I was like, let me start a YouTube channel on it. And the rest is history. I mean, I guess my mock drafts is what helped me like get to kind of where I'm at now, going from, a couple of views here and there, mostly just my family viewing my stuff. To doing my draft content, which is the stuff I care the most about. I'm heavy draft. I even care about recruiting, going from high school to college. Then I watch college and all of that. Of course, I'm a UGA fan, but I watch everybody's games and all of that, especially quarterbacks and defensive line. Those are my specialties. And then I figured I might as well keep going with it, and it turned into a full-blown business now.
Yeah, 10,000 plus subs now. Congratulations. You just hit that this year, right?
Yes, sir, man. Thank you.
Awesome. I missed. So how long ago was this that you started?
Oh, sorry. May 2017. May 2017. Yes, I think is when I officially created the channel. Yes.
A little over 4 years. Sweet. All right. Well, that's our goal, Jared. So we have to get 10K by our 4-year mark, right?
Hey man, pass me. Please pass me. Do better than me. Hit 20K.
All right. Well, we'll have some fun. We're having a blast here already. The play-by-plays are a lot of fun, but no. And then, of course, so you said you grew up in Atlanta and then you went to school in New York. So obvious question is you were clearly going to be a Skins fan with that history. So please tell me how you became a Washington football team fan.
Well, I was born in Maryland, lived in Largo, lived in Mitchellville, moved to Atlanta while I was little. So I was PG County while I was little. My whole mom part of the family, that whole era, that whole part of the lineage is straight DMV. Then we moved to Atlanta while I was little, so now everybody, me and younger, are more Atlanta, but we're originally Maryland as a family, North Carolina-ish. But either way, I could have been born in Alaska. My mom is a heavy burgundy and gold fan, so I would have been still part of this community either way, and I'm glad to be. I love Atlanta for everything other than sports. Everything other than sports, I'll die by Atlanta, but I'm so glad I'm not a part of this fan base here. Ooh, boy, man.
Yeah, we think we have it rough, right? At least they got to win this week. At least they got to win. That's good. And you mentioned, of course, you are that Georgia Bulldog fan, and so yes. I've seen from afar. I haven't watched many of the games, to be honest. I watched the Clemson game. That defense seems legit. What makes their defense so good?
I mean, we're just finally recruiting well. I mean, specifically, you could talk defensive line is dominant. It's like 6 guys that can get to the quarterback any play. Yeah, I mean, again, it's 5 stars. When we reached the national championship against Alabama, what year was it? Like 2017, 2018, whatever that was back then. We kind of overachieved.
Game, right? The Tua?
Yeah, we kind of overachieved, honestly. It was really just Roquan Smith and friends. And now we actually have like 5 stars that are freshmen off the bench. So now we're top to bottom good. So now the expectations are really there. And it's fine. I'm glad to see it finally being fruitful. I feel like quarterback has held us back the most. Not a big JT Daniels fan. He's not even in my top 7 quarterbacks as far as who I want my burgundy and gold to draft. But he's way better than what we had in Jake Fromm, and that's all that matters because we just need that guy. The defense is always going to be there. Run game is always going to be there. Offensive line. We finally actually have some potent receivers and tight ends now. But it's always been quarterback holding us back. Even in those championship games, Tua and Jalen Hurts just outplayed Jake Fromm. It's just that simple. So I'm really excited about this season because now I think we do have the best defense in college football, and I think our offense isn't as far back enough to where we expect to lose games, and our defense has to carry us. I think our offense is good enough to where we should be national championship contenders this year.
There you go. So you took my next two questions. Okay, awesome. So you do think because first of all, I was going to mention the JT Daniels, so it's interesting to hear that you were not a fan. I was not a fan of what I saw in the Clemson game, and I usually don't have time to watch every single game, so I usually watch, like, when I go down to break film, I usually watch, like, the top 3 opponents. Like, how do they look against those guys instead of, like, how do they look against, who was the last team they just blew out 62-0?
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, who cares what they did against that team, right? How do they look against the top competition? And I've already watched that game, so I'm ahead of the game on that sense, and I did not like how JT Daniels played. Not accurate downfield, so he was throwing a lot of crazy passes.
He's dealing with the injury, and that was like the most hurt he's been. But even so, again, he's not even in my top 7. So, like, everything that you feel about the lack of accuracy and things like that, I agree. But it is like a slight side note. He's recovered from that injury since then, and he's still kind of dealing with it. There may be a chance he doesn't start against Arkansas this upcoming week. But like Clemson, he was at his most hurt so far this season. But again, I'm not a JT Daniels fan either. I'm just happy to have anybody but Jake Fromm.
Chris, tell me who your favorite quarterback is.
Desmond Ridder.
How do you feel about Desmond Ridder?
That's my favorite quarterback.
I like Desmond Ridder. I mean, I'm biased, but Malik Willis is my guy. Westlake High School, just like Cam Newton, Adam Pac-Man Jones, and AJ Terrell, who we're going against this week. Oh, we kill him. I mean, Westlake boy and all of that, hometown hero, but we got to kill him this week. Terry has to kill him. So, like, I like Malik Willis's traits. I'm also a big fan of Matt Corral. I just kind of have one guy each archetype. I feel like Carson Strong is your just pure pocket passer. I feel like Matt Corral is your Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. Malik Willis is a slightly better passing Lamar Jackson, but all of those guys have a lot of things to work on. Like today, I don't want my Burgundy and Gold drafting those guys in the first round, but I like them so much because I see the progression. I see that Malik Willis from last year to this year has worked on his mechanics, his footwork, and things like that. So I'm predicting by the time the draft comes around, I will want to draft them in the first round, and that's why those are my guys. But hey, I like Desmond Ridder a lot too. A lot of people like Desmond Ridder last year to come out of the draft and, potentially go. So this year is only going to help him. Just like Justin Herbert went back for an extra year that people didn't expect him to go back for. Maybe Desmond Ridder has that same type of, he should have been drafted first, even though he wasn't once he gets to the NFL.
This Saturday is probably going to be his biggest game of the year, and that's the one I'm watching for against Notre Dame.
Big time. I'm watching that as well.
So, Chris, do you really base players off how they look and their face?
No.
Top-notch question from Skull. Thank you very much.
I don't know where that question came from. But okay.
Beautiful. Well done. And then, of course, I was going to ask, do you think they could win the national championship over there in Georgia? But you sounded like they're contenders. But do you think they will win it?
I feel like this is our best chance. It's hard to predict anything since Alabama's been dominating. Luckily, Clemson's out of the way. They're not as good. Ohio State's kind of out of the way. Arkansas actually may be our toughest opponent all season until we play Alabama in the SEC championship game. So I just feel like this is the most prepared we've been. Granted, we haven't won a championship in forever, so there's no way I can just go in like, yeah, we got this. It doesn't matter how much talent we've had. It just hasn't mattered on Saturdays. But this is definitely the most talented team we've had, at least in the past 15 years. So I'm excited. And this is probably the most beatable Alabama's looked in at least the past 10 years. So this is the perfect formula for us to win the championship. But who knows, man? For any given Saturday, man, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Skull says it's Alabama again. Georgia, get one for Rico. Okay, he's rooting for you. Rooting for you there from ProTech.
Please.
What up, ProTech? All right, sounds good. Well, now let's go ahead. I've stalled long enough. All right, we now have to hop in to this debacle 43-21 victory from the Bills. All right, first off, I'm just going to ask a much more general question. Give us your general thoughts about this game.
Just talent not playing up to the level that we expected. I definitely don't think, as far as talent-wise, I don't think we're 43-21 against the Bills. I don't think there's that large of a chasm between us and talent. I think a lot of it is just scheme. Which is weird. We had 10 days to prepare, so you would think scheme would be the last issue that you have. But just, I mean, there's so many things to nitpick. I feel like we have to go to the coaches first, though, for so much talent not doing what we expected them to do coming into this season.
For sure, yeah, because definitely for some reason, this never even crossed my mind until somebody posted on one of the Facebook pages. How bad does this defensive line coach, I don't even remember his name off the top of my head, have to look? You have 4 first-round picks, and you're incapable of using them to get pressure on the quarterback. Like, does he need to be fired, Stat?
That's a good question. I don't remember his name off the top of my head either.
Yeah, somebody just showed me that, and or posted on the face. I was like, "Good, you're right." Like, what a dream! I have 4 first-round picks in my position group. Like, how many position coaches would be like, "Please, just give me one. Can I get one?" Like, this guy has 4, and he can't do anything with it. Unbelievable.
That's a great point.
But yeah, it's that front 4 is not doing nearly enough, and so. You already said it, so you're putting blame on the coaches, and we'll just start with the defense. We're gonna go work through this defense, and then we'll switch over to the offense. So you're putting the most blame on Jack Del Rio. Is he on the hot seat?
Ron Rivera, maybe with another coaching staff, but Ron Rivera just seems like one of those guys. He's very loyal. I think Jack Del Rio, unless we just come out here and get 50 points a game, is going to be here at least to the end of this season. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm definitely blaming Jack Del Rio. Granted, guys just got to make plays. When an interception is in your hands, you got to catch it. Chase Young, when you get a one-on-one block, you got to win that. Mm-hmm. But still, at the end of the day, there's just a lot of communication issues and the coverages. William Jackson is a pure man cover corner. Yeah, we have him running zone, and he doesn't know where he needs to be some of the time. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of schematics issues. But again, at the same time, guys need to just go out there and make plays. We're too talented for guys to just, John Bostic tripping over his own shoes in coverage. It's a complete mess right now. But if I had to pick anybody, Jack Del Rio has to catch the blame.
I wish that was his only problem in coverage, is that he tripped over his own feet every once in a while. Because this guy is never in position. And yeah, I was going to talk about the linebackers. But first, Chris, who do you blame most on this defense?
Jack Del Rio.
Jack Del Rio.
Jack Del Rio, because part of the reason Rico just mentioned it, guys are not doing what they're supposed to do because it's like 4 or 5 guys that's playing out of position. Why do I see Landon Collins playing free safety? Why do I see Bobby McCain at strong safety? Why do I see John Bostic on the outside, and why do I see Jamin at middle linebacker? I get what they're trying to do with Jamin, but they haven't built up his confidence for that. I feel like with Jamin, they should play him to his strengths. So that way, as you build up his confidence, all right, we're going to move him to linebacker a little bit during this game. And if he make a couple plays at middle linebacker, maybe in his head, it's like, okay, I'm getting this. But I don't think Jamin is getting it right now because the confidence, Jamin is nowhere to be found. He made a couple nice plays, but it's like, he's not really out there. Why Bostic being on the field is annoying to me. Kendall Fuller is atrocious in the slot. And I thought Kendall Fuller was going to be a beast in the slot. But he hasn't played that position for a while now, so I understand it. And St. Juice, to me, he has been getting better and better each and every game. Will Jack, like Rico said, we a zone team, and we got him. He's a man corner. We got him playing zone. Everybody's out of position, and I told Tim this, Rico. I said it before the game. I said teams now know when Landon Collins and Bobby McCain are back there, they're going to stretch the field. They can't play together. You can't play them together. Yeah. Landon Collins, all that weight he lost, he looked like he gained it right back. If I'm being honest, he looked like he gained it right back. He's not effective. Bobby McCain, both of them good against the run. In coverage, they get killed. And for the life of me, Cameron Curl, my favorite player on his team, where is he at? I don't see him nearly enough. Not saying that he's playing bad, but he's not on the field.
Yeah, he actually had his most snaps this week, but definitely the 2 weeks. It's slowly building up. I don't know why he was ever under. I think he played like less than 50% of snaps game 1, but it's slow. He actually technically played more than Bobby McCain and Landon Collins this game, according to the snap counts. Yeah, it doesn't feel like that. Street scores, because somebody mentioned Protect in the thing. But anyway, street scores. How many snaps? Did you look at the snap counts yet?
Kind of. The game was so sad. I looked at them. I think Nikki Javala tweeted them, and I looked at them and forgot them so fast.
No, it's okay. I'm actually okay. I'm actually okay that you didn't. How many, what percentage of snaps do you feel, watching the game, what's the percentage of snaps do you feel John Bostic played?
It always feels like a clean at least 70, 80%. It just seems like, because every time he's on the field, the offense targets them. They're like, oh, John Bostic's over there. Throw it that
way. He played less than 50% of snaps.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't seem
people
like
think I be crazy when I be talking. I'd say with if you want to move the ball on our team, you either go to Landon or Bostic. It's literally that easy. It makes me so mad.
Well, nobody played well in the linebacker core. That's what I wanted to bring up is of course, I agree with you guys. Coaching is definitely a big part of this whole debacle. It probably should be number one, because it always falls on the coaches whenever your team does not perform, especially in a blowout. It's always going to fall on the coaches. But this linebacking group, Cole included, and I liked Cole going in, Cole included, played so bad, top to bottom, other than the fourth down stop from Jamin, it was terrible. And what I'm seeing, and I was curious if you see the same thing, is it seems like the linebackers don't understand when they're playing zone that they're not supposed to just stand in a spot. They're supposed to be reading what the pattern of the receivers are doing and then favoring a little bit of the zone one way or the other to make sure, or whether it be forward, backwards, whatever, depending on what the receivers are trying to do to them. But they just go to a spot and then they end up 10 yards away from the closest receiver, and it's an easy first down every time. Are you seeing the same thing?
Exactly, man. My boy Ivory even worded it perfectly, saying that it seems like our linebackers cover grass, not players, grass. This is my spot. Nobody's catching a pass in this 2 feet diameter. Nobody's catching a pass here, but they can run right across my face. They can run right behind me. I mean, their knees are bent, but they don't go anywhere. It just they want to look like they're ready, but they actually aren't. It's so annoying. But yeah, they're not covering a zone. They're covering a specific spot, and then when a receiver or a running back comes in their area, they don't follow them and wait to pass them off until somebody else gets them. They literally just sit in their spot.
Mm-hmm. Except for John Bostic. Bostic doesn't even guard his spot. Nobody knows what John Bostic
he's just
does.
Drifting away. He's just drifting away.
On 3rd and 16, he's double teaming the flat. What are you doing, John? Back up, John. Golly. Yeah, except for John Bostic. Oh, my God. It's so... And I don't know. It ticked me off. I'm curious. When Ron Rivera was asked about John Bostic, and he had the audacity to say, John Bostic, he doesn't deserve the criticism. Did that bug you as much as it did Chris and I?
I mean, it's coach's talk. You just want to show your players that you have their back. But he has to know in his head, bro, John Bostic has been out here selling. He has to know when
he's a 30 PFF. He's a 30 PFF.
I didn't even know that. I was surprised they even took the time to grade that, man. But Ron Rivera, that's just coach's talk. Even before the season started with the Tress Way, we believe in Tress Way, even though he's missing kicks. It's coach's talk. I don't think he believes that in his heart, but he just has to speak up for his players so he doesn't lose the locker room. I think that's all that is.
All right, that's a fair excuse. I don't like it, but it's fair.
I don't like it either. Yeah,
fair enough. All right. Chase Young. He has been the exact opposite of what we wanted coming into this year. We thought he was going to take a leap. All right, year 1 to year 2, he's going to be phenomenal. In your opinion, what is his biggest problem?
I think he just it's a lot. I mean, same issues he had coming out of the draft, technique a lot of the times. It's no lack of athleticism, it's no lack of strength, speed, or any of that. He just doesn't know what to do with any of it. Forgot one of those guys on ESPN pointed out that Chase Young and even Montez Sweat at times, they're going too deep. Daron Payne would get pressure right up the middle like you would expect them to, but Chase Young and Montez Sweat are out here trying to outrun each other to behind Josh Allen's head, to the back of Josh Allen's head, that he has a clear area in front to step up into because Chase Young and Montez Sweat are not setting the edge. They're just flying as far back as they can. So it's a lot of mental mistakes and a lot of technique things where when you're one-on-one, you're Chase Young, you shouldn't be losing. But guys are just, they've studied him this past year. They realized, oh, he's just winning off of strength and speed. And so we can just do this with him. And he won't be able to beat us, and it's been working so far. I'm gonna need him to adjust, and like you said, we still got to figure out this defensive lines coach because it's up to him to get everybody right.
Yeah, and I've been saying it ever since we got him last year, and I'm sure everybody else is saying the same. He needs to just to me, if he's not watching the opponent and he's not watching what he did wrong, he just needs to watch Dwight Freeney from here on out and learn the spin move. He probably would have had 2 or 3 sacks if he understand how to spin inside. Because he would have spun, and Josh Allen would have been right there.
Right there waiting,
like,
yes,
yeah, it's
exactly.
like, boom, I got you now. Like, if he knew how to do that spin move, like, sky's the limit for this dude. Because we all know he's strong. We all know he's quick, explosive, all those things. But he doesn't have, I completely agree, like, he didn't have the tools around him, and that's the defensive line coach. What are you doing all day? Is he just expecting to collect a check? I got 4 first-round picks. I don't need to coach you. You're fine. I don't need to coach you. Just go do what you do. Like, it's so frustrating.
Super.
Are him and Sweat being too selfish? I know that was who was it, Chris, that you said saw that?
Marcus Spears.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, with them flying off the line and just going as far back as they can, trying too hard to make a play, rather than playing within the confines of what the defensive line wants you to do, which is stay at a certain depth line, like a depth from the line of scrimmage, and then go in. This flying all the way around isn't helping anybody. Again, Deron Payne, you can go back and look, is literally breaking through a double team.
Yep.
Perfect pressure for what you would want in a quarterback's face, but Josh Allen just has an easy route around him because Chase Young isn't where he needs to be.
Yeah, fair enough. So fair enough. And did you say that? I'm sorry. Sometimes I get to read in chat and trying to listen at the same time, and I'm terrible.
Are you good?
So I apologize if you mentioned that. So I noticed this. Okay, so after the game, Chase was talking to the media, and I understand this could be like media spin, but I just heard it and I want to talk about it. And he was asked about like how does he think he's playing and this, that, whatever. What is he doing? And he goes, he was just doing, or I'm just doing my job, and it's to get around the tackle. With Rivera's comments the last week of, hey, everybody just needs to do their job, do you think that was a slight at Ron Rivera of like, hey, you told me to do my job. Like, I'm not doing any of that fancy stuff. I'm just doing my job. Do you think there was any animosity there?
I hope not. This is my first time hearing that quote, so
yeah.
I hope it's nothing too much to read into, because that could easily be a little petty slight towards Ron Rivera. Like, yeah, you said we need to do this. I'm doing mine,
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope not, but it does sound a little ugly. It definitely is. It's not one of those things where media members have to grab at it and force a topic. Like, he gave the media that topic right there.
Yeah, and he didn't say it. He didn't say it with like disgust on his face. He didn't say it in a sarcastic way. I'm probably putting it much more sarcastic than he put it. But I'm just letting you know what I read into it is like he was like, he's just like, I'm just out there. I'm just trying to do my job. My job's to get around the tackle. Like kind of said it something like that.
It's
but
oddly specific though.
Yeah, it's like okay, coach was preaching. Everybody's just got to do their job, and then the next week you're talking about in a blowout 43-point bomb about how you just did your job. I don't know. It seems a little slighty to me.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we mentioned him, but I just want to get specific on this guy. What in the world is going on with Kendall Fuller? Last year, just to put this in perspective, he allowed only 36 receptions on 68 targets, so roughly 50%, whatever that comes out to be, a little over 50%. This year alone, in just 3 games, he's already allowed half the receptions at 18 on only 23 targets. I don't know how they still have him rated in the 60s on PFF, because there's no way in heck he should be the 60s. Is he overrated by Skins fans, or is he just a down year? What's going on with Kendall Fuller?
I mean, as of right now, what have you done for me lately? And he may not even just be overrated by Skins fans. He's probably overrated by his contract as well. That contract that he has, he should be playing better than what we're getting from him. And he's another person. It's not as bad as John Bostic, but against the Giants, they were attacking him at a certain. They tried to attack Benjamin St-Juste, made a couple of plays. They left him alone until like the final drive of the game, where he had one nice play and the other one forgot the receiver. He just went out of bounds. And so we got lucky there. But they just continuously kept attacking Kendall Fuller and William Jackson. But like once they found weakness, they smelled the blood on Kendall Fuller, they just kept going back and back and back. Same thing against the Chargers. So we need him to step up big. And I definitely think he's not what we expected. I'm one of those people that felt like he was an elite corner before he went to the Chiefs. Then the Chiefs had him and he was playing some outside. And of course he was not going to be as good because he's a better slot corner than outside. So with him, we're coming back here, returning back the slot. I was like, oh yeah, we're good. Kendall Fuller's back at where he needs to be. This is where he plays his best football, and we haven't seen it yet. So I don't know. I don't know why he's so bad, but he's definitely overrated right now.
Yeah, just two examples here. The Emmanuel Sanders deep shot. He got beat deep with no double move after he was already starting off the ball 7-8 yards.
I remember that. He was playing.
He's literally like this. He's just as the guy runs by him, he doesn't move. Like he just, oh crap! Now I gotta run. Like no, you don't have that makeup speed. Like jam him, do something. Don't let him just run by you for an easy. Because Deron Payne had a sack. Like if he makes the Josh Allen hold it for half more of a second, a quarter second, Deron Payne's right there, hitting the quarterback as he throws. No, instead we get a big completion. And then the second play was, you remember where he almost got that interception?
Yeah. Where he tried to bring it up and it hit Knox's leg, then that's why it ended up being incomplete.
Exactly. That part, I don't care about that. I want him to catch it, but I'm not bringing it up for that part. Cam Curl was there to hit him. Hit Knox.
Yeah.
And then it popped up in the air. Kendall Fuller was man-to-man on Knox. Why is Cam Curl the first one there to hit him?
Closer. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I went back and watched the play because my initial thought was Cam Curl, because, yes, they incompleted it, it's fine, but that wasn't, Cam Curl knocking it away. That was, a little bit behind Knox, and it ends up hitting his shoulder, and he doesn't catch it. But he's right there at the first down mark. So I was like, my initial notes were Cam's Curl's got to be closer. It's 3rd and 3. He's got to be on it.
Yeah.
He can't be so far back, right? So at first, my thought was Cam Curl. So then I went back, and I was like, all right, where did Cam Curl start on this play compared to where Knox was? When you look at it, Kendall Fuller is the one lined up on Knox. Cam Curl's a back safety. It's like he's the safety. He comes roaring up to even get there to try to make a play, and then Kendall Fuller is 10 yards of separation with Dawson Knox. The great route runner, the top-notch speed, the cuts and everything of Dawson Knox. There's 10 yards of separation. I'm just like, oh,
I did not know that. I did not know that was Kendall Fuller's assignment. Live, like you said, you would have never known.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, Kendall Fuller, man, you're almost there. Just intercept it. No, that should have been you hitting him, and that should have been Cam Curl there to scoop it up, and he would have caught it. Just like Chris said before we get started, me and him were talking. Yeah, he would have caught it if Cam Curl was the one back there to intercept it. But yeah.
I agree.
All right. I think I've exhausted the defense. Any last things on the defense, you guys? I'll give Chris first. Wait, you got any last thoughts on the defense?
I mean, other than Chase Young is exactly what I thought he was and saying he was.
You did hate on him real hard after last season.
I didn't hate on him.
No. I didn't mean that in a negative way. I meant you were calling these things out that we're seeing now.
Yeah.
Before
I was like, I just don't see it. I don't see what other people seeing in him. I think when he was drafted, I was hoping he'd be this generational player. And his rookie season, I don't think he deserved Defensive Rookie of the Year personally, because I don't believe he was the best defensive rookie on his team. I think that was Cam. Chase, to me, after that Tampa game, when that tackle just beat the crap out of him, I was like, I don't see it. You can't just not show up the whole game. And then he comes into this season, I'm like, he only plays well against the lower competition. I don't care about that. We're not going to pay you for that. We pay you to go get Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, and all those guys. And if you can't do that against them, there's no sense in me having you. That's the way I feel. I'm all about you going up against the elite competition and beating them. You supposed to smash the worst competition. He's not even doing that. He got locked up by Andrew Thomas, who a lot of people consider him being a bust. I have a problem with that. And another thing on Chase, he takes plays off.
Definitely.
Why are you taking plays off? That's my second pick, and he's supposed to be the leader of the team. He takes plays off. And then in one of his press conferences, he said, against the Giants, he said, I felt like I played good. And I told Tim, I'm like, you can't believe that was good enough. And then in the second game, he's like, I felt good out in against the Bills. He said, I felt good out there. That's not good enough. If he feels that that's good enough, something's wrong. Seriously wrong. Yeah. And for this D-line, if they think that they getting paid any kind of big money, they lost their mind. They better get it together, or like I said, they're all expendable to me at that point. If they don't get it together.
I still like Duran. Well, actually, you know what? Before I go, you have any thing to add to that or respond to? I know that you kind of had a face looking at Chris when he was talking about you don't see the generational talent from Chase. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I am one of those people that thinks he will end up being great, but it's taking way longer than I thought it would. And I super agree with the fact that, like, you can't. The mental thing was really bothering me. The fact that he is saying, like, I did my job or that was good enough. That's my biggest worry with him. But I just have an overall comment for the defensive line before we move on to the offense. So if you have something to say about Chase Young, that's
I'm just gonna say I'm not saying that. What I'm saying right now, I haven't seen the generational talent, not once. That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen it.
All right, what was
I think he has it, but I just haven't seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
We
don't hear that part of Chris a lot where he says he thinks he has it. It's mostly on this channel if he just goes off on Chase. But it's all because we all expect more out of him. We know that.
I'm not going to give you no credit if he's been bad.
You know, we all love Chase. We love his attitude. We love his sideline presence, when he's going over there and cheering on his teammates, and he seems like a good leader. He's a good vocal guy. He doesn't see he has any problems off the field. Like, it seems like he would be a great face of your franchise in almost every single way. It's just not matching on the field yet. You're just like, come on, give me that. But what were your general thoughts on the D-line before we moved on to the offense?
So like you even spoke about with if Kendall Fuller played a slightly better coverage, that was a Daron Payne sack. Mm-hmm. I do feel like our coverage, once they get better, our defensive line is going to look better because plays like that, a lot of those happen throughout the game because somebody found out that our defensive line is second in the league in pressures. But it just hasn't mattered. They're not getting there. They're just Preston Smith in it. A whole bunch of pressures, but no sacks. So what does it matter? Like, what is on? And then, but I also feel like with those pressures, those can turn into QB hits and sacks once the coverage is better. But still, that's not alleviating them of any blame. Mm-hmm. They need to be better straight up. Chase Young has too many. We talked about all in the offseason. No, Chase Young's going to be double teamed. He's getting single blocked a lot of these times and still not winning. So,
I counted twice through that first half. I really went through and watched the first half. I counted twice. One of them, he got chipped by a tight end. The other one was a true double team with the guard. Outside of that, there was no more double teams throughout that first half. Not a single one. It was only twice. And I watched, 40 defensive plays, something like that. So out of 40 plays, he was only double teamed twice. If you want to call a tight end chip a double team anyway. It's not like the tight end was sitting there helping the block. It was just a chip knocking him inside. But to your point, as far as the ball getting out super fast, I mean, I didn't keep track of the exact number, but I do time when the ball was released. And so many times it was out under 2 seconds even, let alone 2.5, 3 seconds. It was out in 2 seconds or less. Yeah, your D-line has no time to get out. So I completely agree with that. All right, on to the offense. And we're going to start with the most important player on the field. How'd you feel about Taylor Heineke's performance?
Up and down, which is what you kind of expect from him. I felt like what he did against the Giants may not be the best of what you expect out of him, but that's kind of his ceiling. And I think what he did against the Bills is more so what you're going to get on a game-to-game basis, where you can have those amazing plays. You're going to have those dive for the pylons. You're going to have the perfect ball placement occasionally. But then you're also going to have, he wants to make something out of nothing sometimes, and he'll throw erratic interceptions for no reason. And then, with he's limited. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not the fastest guy. So like Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, those guys with rocket arms can afford to see things late. They can see a receiver. You need to throw. Usually quarterbacks need to throw a receiver open before they're open, so it gets there as soon as they're open. Guys like Pat Mahomes can see it, then throw it because the ball has that much zip on it, it's going to get there. Taylor Heineke has not afforded that. He has to see things before they happen. He has to be one of those guys. Maybe more game time will help him, work on that part of his game. But he doesn't have the arm to bail him out. He doesn't even necessarily exactly have the speed with his legs to bail him out. It works to an extent, but he's not going to be out here like Kyler Murray making 3 guys miss and then making a play. At best he'll pick up maybe 5 to 8 yards and maybe make 1 guy miss. But for him, he needs to learn to be a better pocket passer so, that mobility can help. It shouldn't be the main part of his game.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just saw Chris's face when he said that. He needs to be a pocket passer.
I mean, that's why I think that's the problem. He can pass in the pocket, but the problem, he did that the whole entire Giants game because they forced him to be
2 carries, I think. 2 carries for 4 yards against the Giants. Yeah.
He was in the pocket. He was just slinging it, but the problem was it was me and Tim watched it. He sat in the pocket for a long time, and Ron Rivera and them is telling him to stay there. You have to let him do whatever he wants to do. You have to, because if you don't, you're taking away what makes him him. And that pass for the first interception he threw, he should have been left the pocket. But he stared down Terry, and then he threw it. He should have been left. I blame that on Ron Rivera and them because you're taking away what makes him him. So towards like the end of the game, I brought it up. He said screw Ron and them, and he went back to what he usually does.
Backyard football,
He took some shots, but we scored a touchdown out of it. You have to let him be him. And just leaving him you can't, Heineke just stay in the pocket. You're going to get those interceptions because, they want me to stay here.
He's only 6'1". Yeah, he's only 6'1", hanging around with a bunch of 6'5", 6'6" dudes.
It's like, can I move? They telling me not to move, so it's like they're hindering him. So it's like, and then they're not doing him no favors with the game plan at all.
Yeah,
I don't even think we had a game plan.
So, Ron Rivera said, or was it Ron Rivera, Chris, I think you were the one that heard this quote, was basically Heineke needs to be more of a game manager. I know that could be having like a negative connotation sometimes, but do you agree that he needs to be more of the game manager, or you agree more with Chris, he needs to be kind of that backyard school baller that we've seen a few times since he's gotten here?
I don't want him to be a game manager, and I like I love seeing him be him. But like to my first point, I just want him. I think it's gonna come with a lot of growing pains as we've seen because he's just not that guy. But I think if he can work on it and become a better pocket passer, it will help him. Because then when he does use his legs, teams will not be able to game plan for it. Whereas like the Giants were like, no, you're gonna stay in this pocket. We'll give you as much time as you want in that pocket, but you're gonna stay in this pocket. I feel like once he becomes a diddly enough pocket passer, if he can, that's a big if, that will help elevate his game all around. But at the same time, right now, I super agree with Chris that he is better outside the pocket. When he's doing what he wants to do, when he plays the best way that he can, for now, it's what's best. But I think long term, if he does for real want to be the franchise quarterback of this team, again, with him being just so limited arm and leg wise, he's going to have to become a better pocket passer. But right now, if we're trying to win games, you want him doing all of that backyard football stuff for sure.
To me, he only had one bad game in the ones that he's played, and that was that game.
Yeah, I agree.
He had one bad game, and like I told Tim, it would have been interesting to see how that game would have went if Kendall picked the ball up. That would have been very interesting because we definitely flipped that momentum quick, especially with that Dustin Hopkins kickoff.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing. I
That
don't
was
know
an
what
awesome
that was.
kickoff. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot to ask the first question. That's funny. Anyway, I was going to ask what did you like from the game, but I just asked for your general thoughts. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right. So, we're just talking about trying to keep him in the pocket. Yeah. All right. Scott Turner. He's been getting a lot of heat over here in Washington from the fans, from the media, everybody. Is Scott Turner doing enough, especially in the department of getting Terry the football?
Oh, no. That Giants game was probably his best coach game I've seen since he's gotten here. He was abusing matchups, having J.D. McKissick on that slower linebacker on that weird double move wheel route. Ricky Seals-Jones over Adoree Jackson in the end zone, getting Terry. How many? Terry had like 12 or something, 15 targets, something crazy
11
like
catches
that.
for 107 or something. But yeah, it was like somewhere in
Logan
that. Yeah.
Thomas was getting targeted. But then against the Bills, he went right back to that same game plan with the Chargers, which is what annoys the mess out of me. Even since before Scott Turner got here, we use our best players as distractions instead of abusing them. Terry's always open. Stop acting like, okay, so the defense is going to game plan for Terry, so we're going to try to get the ball to these other guys. Terry is open. Get him the ball. He's our best playmaker. Put the ball in his hands. And then even like Antonio Gibson, 73-yard screen touchdown. Never a screen target after that. Never. We ran a screen with Cam Sims after that, but not him. Like I just
actually I think it was a jet sweep.
A jet sweep
with the Cam Sims, which is ridiculous.
All of this trickery, the slowest receiver we have on the team right now. To all of this,
there's nothing jet about him, right?
I mean, the only other receiving, he only had 2 receiving targets. That screen, and then that one he went out into the flat and dropped it. That was it. We just 73-yard touchdown. Never running a screen with them again. I don't understand it. I guess he overthinks it. He's like, this worked this time. Now teams are going to game plan for it. We're not going to come back to it until week 8 or something. Like I hate it. And again, my main point is that he uses our best players as distractions instead of just getting them the ball.
Yeah, I just because I see Spoiled says, Tim, you're too easy on your team. Sometimes I can't be. Sometimes I do want to come out in defense. Okay, I know I asked the question, but I do want to come out in defense in Scott Turner. His first drive was called back because of that bogus penalty, right? We had a huge first down. J.D. McKissick never touched Tre'Davious White, and yet somehow we get a pick play. So now we're 3rd and 12. We almost get the first. We don't quite get there. Tough. Next drive, on the second play, you call a first down. Logan Thomas fumbles it. Tough. And then I think it was on the second play again, or maybe after the first down. It was like the 2nd and 6 after the first down. Taylor Heineke throws a pick. Like, it's like, all right, and also not to mention, he's had, 5 starting quarterbacks? Or something like that? Yeah. Like, he doesn't have, like, a lot of these, especially great offenses, the Andy Reid Mahomes of the world, the Matt LaFleur, Aaron Rodgers of the, whatever, Russell Wilson and whoever the OC is over there, or at least Pete Carroll.
Sean McVay, got his boy Matthew Stafford
Sean McVay, now it's Matt Stafford. But even with him and Jared Goff, it's like these guys have had time to build chemistry. They know what they want out of each other. They know what the offense is built to do and everything like that. And like, to be fair, like, the game plan was to get the Terry the ball quite a bit because that screen, the play before the bad PI call was to Terry. The play that went big was to Terry. Like, he had a couple of other plays, and then of course you have like the 73-yard touchdown run. Why didn't we target Terry on that one, right? No, of course we didn't have time to target Terry because we scored a 73-yard touchdown run, right, or whatever. So, and to be your point about decoy. The second touchdown, when we got into the 10-yard line to Logan Thomas, the linebackers were covering Terry underneath. He was doing that drag route again, and the linebackers cheated up, left the middle of the field wide open. Heineke finds Logan. So I just wanted to defend Scott a little bit, but I don't think he's been great either. But as far as, like, I think there is room to defend him. You're down 21-0. Like, you're all of a sudden now in a big hole, these kind of things. But all right, I'm going to ask this for Roger. Roger Smith, one of our commenters. I know he may come in your stream too. I know he's around the Washington football team stuff. Do you think we run too much shotgun?
I don't hate it as much as a lot of people do. The only thing that gets me with the shotgun, I don't like. It's worked, but those 4th and 1s when we run the shotgun scare me a little bit. But it's worked. But I don't hate shotgun as much as a lot of people do. I think Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick are athletic enough to do it. So yeah, I don't hate it as much as everybody else. But the 4th and 1s, it scares me, but it's been working. Yeah, it has worked.
Roger's been preaching it for a while in the comments, and I have to admit, when I watch the first half, I feel like our offense does look better when we're in the I formation or the single back for under center. Like the boots worked fantastic. I mean, we hit Terry downfield a couple of times on those boots. Like, the boots worked really well. The running up the middle works well with Gibson. Or if you want to bring JD in. JD ran well in this game out of whatever. I liked what JD did. So, anyway, I think about that. What do you think about Scott Turner there, Chris?
I don't like him. Because game one.
Tell us how you really feel.
Literally. And I said this in preseason, but somehow people think I'm crazy. That play that Brian Fitzpatrick, I think it was like 5 split out wide, and Terry McLaurin was 1-on-1, no safety, and he threw it to Adam Humphries. And literally the game plan when Fitzpatrick was in was literally we gonna run and throw it to Adam Humphries. And that makes me, and I'm like, this is just a reoccurring thing. It's like it's no game plan game one. There was a game plan game two. Game three, there was no game plan. And Antonio Gibson, why are we starting off the game with J.D. McKissic on a run? That should be Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson should see no less than 20 carries. Terry should see no less than 15 targets. There's no way in the he beat the crap out of Tre'Davious White in the beginning of the game. And then once that passing interference got called back, they didn't even look Terry way no more. And it's annoying because it's the same thing I told Tim. I said, it's no way that you can have me to believe that Terry McLaurin is getting way more attention than Devontae Adams and D-Hop. Because all those receivers just seem to be running wide open. But you mean to tell me Terry
Stephon Diggs in this game, many times he was running wide open, right?
You can't tell me that Terry is just getting shut out. It's no way in the world. And it gets him on my nerves because, like, he is our offense to me. Terry and Heineke basically won us that game. We established game two, get the ball to Terry at all costs. When we do that, we win because you can't stop him. But they won't target him, and it's annoying. And I told Tim this. I don't think Terry's signing an extension next year. I don't think he's signing it unless they get him a quarterback or an elite quarterback or draft one. That's why I think that press conference was saying he's telling them, y'all get me a quarterback or I'm leaving. And if he leaves, I don't care what you think the offense is going to be. We're not going anywhere without Terry. That's just how I feel.
What do you think about that? A potential of? Do you think he may not sign here long term when his contract's up with the whole situation? I think he's had a quarterback on average every 3.5 games. Yeah. A new quarterback coming in. So do you think he kind of gets tired of that and decides he wants to go to somebody with a more established quarterback?
If I'm him, I would. I'm captain of the you need an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl or to be consistent. I mean, because it's hard to recreate the magic of a top defense year to year. I mean, we see the Buccaneers defense right now. Unless you just have that guy like an Aaron Donald, it's just really hard to be a consistent contender based off your defense compared to how consistent you can be a contender with your quarterback being great. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, is just always the Russell Wilson, always may not always go to the Super Bowl, but they're always in the conversation. They can win any game. You're not afraid of any opponent. So yeah, if I'm Terry, me personally, I'm gone if we don't at least try to make a big move. Like if you don't, I mean, granted, there were rumors we tried to get Matthew Stafford. Yeah, that's all good and all, but he's not here. So if you don't make an aggressive move to get a quarterback in the draft, if just something, Taylor Heineke's cool, love him. But at the very worst, have Taylor Heineke competing for the starting spot next year in the offseason. I think at the very least, if you like Taylor Heineke that much, let him compete against a Matt Corral or somebody in the offseason if we have to. But yeah, as a fan, I hope not. But if I'm in Terry's shoes, I'm out if we don't figure it out this next year.
To be real, I spoke to Tim about this Matthew Stafford thing. I told him, I was like, and because I didn't want Stafford, but I was like, in theory, I would have been wrong. But looking at the play calling here, I don't think Matthew Stafford would have been what he is at the Rams because of the play calling.
Oh, yeah,
there's no way. Yeah, there's no way he would have been what the Rams are. It's Sean McVay.
Like, we have better weapons than the Rams. Cooper Kupp is just look like the best receiver in the NFL.
Dude, I love Cooper Kupp. Cooper's great.
He's not Terry.
Is great. Of course, nobody's Terry. But after Terry, what do we got? We don't got much after Terry.
We got Curtis. Well, I think Curtis is better than any second player they got on their team, and Logan is better than any.
Give me Cooper Kupp over. Give me Cooper Kupp over Curtis. I love Cooper.
That's one. Okay, Cooper Kupp or Terry. Terry. Robert Woods or Curtis. We have better weapons than they do.
The number one over
there. The running back, we got the better running backs. The problem is the play calling stuff. Yeah. That's the problem. And our offensive line, I gotta clap it up for them. They've been phenomenal. I was giving Leno a hard time, but after he shut down Leonard Williams that game, I gotta clap it up for him. I gotta clap it up for the O-line. They've been phenomenal.
That's a great point because there's so many times that you see Heineke pumping, but he has time.
Yeah,
he's got time back there, which is nice. But anyway, you have anything to add to what Chris said?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do like our weapons in comparison to a lot of other teams that are doing better than us, that are giving out a better offensive output than we are. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you don't think our weapons are better, I think we're close enough in range to where there shouldn't be this chasm in production from these other teams. And I love the point about Devontae Adams still getting 8 catches a game. And all of these other guys, even like you said, Stephon Diggs, was no matter what, they would give them the ball in the backfield if they have to. No matter what, their ball players are getting the ball. And I just feel like we need to do a better job of that. But yeah, I agree with the offensive line. Samuel Cosmi, according to Pro Football Focus, is the best graded rookie offensive lineman right now. And they also, I think ESPN said he has the highest run block win rate amongst all offensive linemen in the NFL. So once we can get his pass protection down, we have a Pro Bowler in our hands. So I'm proud of the offensive line. Can't necessarily blame them. There's times where they have their moments, but overall they've been one of our very few bright spots this season, honestly.
Yeah, which is surprising for sure. If you ask I wonder what the money line would have been. Who's going to be better, Washington defensive line or offensive line?
Oh, man. Everybody would have lost money on that, man.
Yeah, for sure. Last thing about Scott Turner, do you think he's on the hot seat?
Nah, until he has all of his guys, until he has a quarterback that he like. We drafted this guy, and then even just Curtis Samuel's not here yet.
Yeah, as I said,
we
talk about Terry. Yeah, we talk about Terry not having the consistent quarterback. It's important for the offensive coordinator too. But go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you can isolate Scott Turner based on what he has to work with and see that he's still not performing to the level that we expect. You can isolate him easily, but he still definitely, like you said, has that built-in excuse. Just like why the Bears head coach is not going to fully start Justin Fields yet. Because he wants to be able to say at a certain point when Justin Fields does come into the game, oh, you got to give me more time. I just got my guy. So Scott Turner kind of has that. Once I get my guy, you need to at least give me another year. So expect to see Scott Turner at least until the end of 2023. Like, I think, honestly, unless there's just some just flabbergasting, consistent game. Yeah, because you got to give a rookie quarterback, if you go big on one, if you go get a Matt Corral or somebody, Malik Willis, you got to give him a year or two, and you don't want to keep going. We've seen with this team, quarterbacks, Jason Campbell, Patrick Ramsey, all of these guys going from coordinator to coordinator.
Does Ron have till 2023?
Ron's
now that I think that's interesting. That's actually very interesting. I don't know. I mean, the way Dan Snyder talked them up about being like our head coach kind of for like the next 10 years, kind of. But yeah, it's a little ugly right now. It's a little mutiny aboard the ship right now too. Guys are, getting a little chippy. I mean, even the fact that Terry McLaurin weeks ago said something to the extent of like, I want a better quarterback. I'm not used to hearing him say anything off his mind. He usually just says all of the robotic right things to say.
And what happened the next game? What they do?
Oh, all the targets against the Giants, all the time.
We can't.
No, Terry, please, Terry,
just
please.
Chill out. We got you.
That's all right. What up, BC? Big country Cowboys fan, but he's a cool dude. I like the Big Country. Are you familiar with Fans Only Sports Big Country?
No, sir. But I've been reading a lot of the comments in here, and what's it called? I like the fact that he did agree with my boy Roger up there.
Yeah, no, he's cool. He's a good dude. I like, even though he's a stupid Cowboys fan. It's all right.
It's going to always be a bunch of those.
All right. Any last things on the offense? I do have one more thing to say about this game before we go on to anything else. But anything last words on the offense? I'll start with street scores.
I don't like how we get away from the run, even though nobody's technically stopped us from running the ball yet. Like, nobody's really stopped us. We've stopped ourselves. Granted, the defense, now the Chargers this Bills game, you can blame the defense on who stopped us from running the ball. But against the Giants and the Chargers, we were running the ball at will, but we just stopped a little too early.
Anything? Any last things, Chris?
I agree. That one, I think it was I think we was backed up into our own end zone, and Gibson just made like 7 people miss and got back like most of our yards. When you got a running back like that can make that many cuts and make something happen out of nothing, you got to feed him and give him whatever he wants. And he's frustrated. If you looked at his press conference, he's frustrated. You got 2 of your top players frustrated. That's not good. Put the ball in their hands. Or it's going to be a problem.
Fair enough. All right, the last thing about this game. Do you think a Bills fan poured beer on Brandon Sheriff? when he hit the wall. Did you see that?
I saw like a tweet about it, but I haven't seen the video myself.
Okay, I think personally that Brandon Sheriff kicked the bottle. It was on the wall, and his leg went up, and I think it kicked and then fell on him. But I know that Ed Oliver or some other people thought that it was a disgusting Bills fan that poured on it. But I did hear the Bills fans were not cool. My aunt went to the game, and apparently they were like heckling them as they went out. And apparently it was kind of a kind of a gross things that they were saying. But anyway, overall,
just bring up Super Bowl rings and shut that down. I mean, granted, we have the most recent loss, but we beat them when it mattered most in the Super Bowl. So I don't want anything for Bills fans.
Yeah, I reached out to like 12 Bills YouTubers, and none of them responded to come on the channel. Like, not even like,
oh, really?
I'm sorry, I'm busy, blah blah blah. None of them even like responded. And I reached out to multiple different ways.
Weird.
Yeah, I was like, what in the? I already had a Giants fan. I already had a Chargers fan, and now I have an Atlanta fan. Bills fans. None of them responded to me. It was kind of wild. I don't know.
That's crazy. I've never heard anything about their fan base, like negative, like outside perception wise. So I don't know. Yeah. That's weird. It's new to me.
I don't know. Maybe it was just I figured reaching out to 12, I would at least get one response, but maybe it was just statistically on what do you call it? Like an anomaly that all of them didn't see what I said. But oh well, it is what it is. All right, so enough about the Bills game. We're going to move on to the Atlanta game. But first, I just wanted to Chris brought this up in the topics before, and I thought it was a good question. What personnel moves do you think we should be looking to make sooner rather than later? Like, what personnel moves should we be making? I know we just added Kelvo back to the practice squad, I believe. But should we be looking at something else out there?
I mean, the obvious one just seems linebacker, but at the end of the day, there's no, we know we bring this guy in, he's going to be the certified answer. I mean, Jamie Collins, Pro Bowl season, then worst linebacker in the NFL. And then the past few games against the Packers game, he lethargic, didn't even look like he cared. I mean, he was walking sometimes
Wouldn't you if you were on the Lions defense?
Yeah, and that's the other side to it. Like, maybe he just wanted to get out. Maybe he was James Harden the situation and was like, let me just get out of here. And I mean, I look like I don't care. Nobody's gonna trade for me, so just release me so I can go to wherever I want to go and pay me at the same time $8.8 million guaranteed to go play for somebody else. So I mean, if we can revive Jamie Collins, that would be great. People are still bringing up Reuben Foster. He's been working out for team. I think the most recently he worked out for the Jets, but nothing.
I'm sorry, I missed the name. What name?
Reuben Foster.
Oh, Reuben Foster.
Yeah, I mean, people keep bringing up Reuben. Yeah, he worked out for the Jets and nothing happened, so clearly he's still not ready to play. I'm still confused about Benardrick McKinney because last time we saw him, he still looked good, but then the Texans traded him away for a low draft pick, like a 6th rounder or something, and then the Dolphins just released him for free. So I feel like there's something wrong there, even though last time we saw him, he was still pretty good and definitely better than John Bostic. So like, I want a linebacker, but like, who's out there? Like, who right now in free agency?
Should have went and got
available?
KJ Wright.
I'm still killed about.
I made a video freaking back in April or March or something like that. We should sign him, and then he was all the way available to right before week 1. And then the Raiders scooped him up, and I think he even had a decent game against the Ravens or something like that. Oh, it's so frustrating that
even Quan Alexander with his serious injury was like out there. Could have given him a chance. I'm not sure if he's even played a game yet, but it'd be nice to have a Quan Alexander in the freezer waiting for us like week 8 to come out and fix this linebacker group potentially maybe. So it's just like the obvious answer is linebacker, but who do we go get honestly? True. At this point, again, like you said, hindsight, we should have definitely have gone and got KJ Wright. Now I'm
not even saying hindsight.
That
was obvious then.
Yeah,
like, what are they doing? Like that one. I didn't need hindsight to tell me KJ Wright. Like that was an obvious one to me. Our linebacker. We literally kept 4 linebackers after cuts.
Yeah,
I think and we've only played 3. Khalid Hudson hasn't played on defense yet.
And that's the guy that I want in the game.
Yeah.
Khalid what do we have to lose at this point with Khalid Hudson? What do we have to lose?
Blindfold Khalid Hudson and he'll cover better than Bostic.
Yeah, I want Landon to move the linebacker.
Put his legs together, he'll have to hop around, and he can cover better than Bostic. Jeez Louise. So bad. And I think he only got like $5 million too. Disgusting. Just gross.
Yeah. Oh, another
yeah.
move too.
Oh, yeah.
It's something that's already passed, but the CJ Henderson trade with I think he ended up going for like a third and a random tight end that's not even like that good. I wish we would have made a similar move.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Arnold, all right. Dan Arnold, all right. He all right.
Who?
Hey,
like
man,
that. Dan Arnold. That's a good move for the Jaguars because they needed a tight end. He's a good receiving tight end.
Oh, Dan Arnold.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I'll give him Ricky Seals-Jones in the third for CJ Henderson, man.
Well, CJ probably didn't want to come here, if we're being honest. Like, why would he want to come? Like, you have a chance to go to a 3-0 team, even though they haven't played anybody. But a 3-0 team, I think they beat the Saints. That's unfair. I'm a little unfair there. Anyway, the 3-0 team or a 1-2 team with a backup quarterback already in the game. I don't know. You probably
that's a good point. Yeah.
Probably wasn't really eyeing us.
I did Kendall in
Kendall in it.
We couldn't give anything away from Kendall. I don't know if he would even get picked up right now if he got cut. Like,
nah, he would.
I'm just so
would.
well for a very cheap deal.
The main thing is his
him.
contract. Yeah, I think the main thing is just that contract that he has. The main reason that if we even put him on the trade block, nobody will want him because the play on the field. But on top of that, the money he's making, it'll be really difficult.
Yeah. Personally, I think Fuller should go to free safety. Personally, and I want to see Torrey McTyer in that slot corner. Because like I said, we need somebody to pair with Cam. Landon Collins and Bobby McCain, you can't do it. Because either one, they're a liability. Whichever side they're on, that's where they're attacking.
Yep.
And they do it all the time.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, Fuller, he played free safety before. He can have that range. He got some speed. And it's like, okay, Torrey McTyer is here for a reason. Put him out there in the slot, see what he can do. But Landon Collins and Bobby McCain, I'd rather see them down in the box because they can tackle. That's where their strengths are. I think Jack Del Rio need to play players to their strength.
Well, Jack Del Rio plays everybody as a free safety. He has everybody like 12 yards off the ball. Doesn't matter what the down and distance is. Everybody's a free safety. And Jack Del Rio's on defense. All right. Let's move on to this Atlanta game. And I'm sorry, usually this has lasted maybe a little bit over an hour, but this looks like it's going to go for...
I'm good all the way, man.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for hanging out with us. And thanks to everybody else in the chat for hanging out with us. You got Bot, his Fatfas here. What's up, man? What up, Spoiled? What up, ProTech? Dan effing Arnold. What up, Reggie Reg? Roger Smith was here. I saw Unknown Ism. What's up? Outlaw King. How's it going? Big BC. Big country. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and hop into this Falcons game. Chris just gave me a couple of the injury reports. Apparently it was Matt. It was limited. St. Juice has a concussion right now, which... We already talked about him probably being one of our best corners. Brandon Sheriff was chest. I'm confused on what that is. I don't know. Because did he hurt his chest in that wall? Is that what it was? Okay. Looked like he just got knocked out to me. I thought he had like a concussion or something. Anyway, so Atlanta, they're coming off their first win of the season, and that includes preseason after they went 0-3. So they were really down in the dumps down there in Atlanta. So 17-14 win over the Giants. Matt Ryan, obviously, in that offense is torched just before. They have the new coach, Arthur Smith. Their defense is rated quite poorly, even though I think even they're rated higher than us now. Living in Atlanta, what insider information can you give us down there? What's going on in the Atlanta region?
Well, as far as football goes, that Cordell Patterson thing is huge right now. They love him. All of my friends that are Atlanta fans, they're like, man, he may be our best offensive player right now, just period. Because Kyle Pitts isn't being utilized. I mean, there's even some red zone snaps where he's not even on the field, let alone not getting the ball. It's weird. Why would you draft somebody that high and not use them? Maybe they're just saving them for a season where they feel like they have a chance. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're tanking for a quarterback. No idea. But yeah, good point. But I definitely feel like Cordell Patterson may be their best kept secret right now. Just we need to focus on him because Atlanta's purposely, from the little bit I've watched them, they're literally matching him up against other teams' linebackers. And that's our worst nightmare right now. Like, we got to figure that one out quick. Jamin Davis, please, whatever. Please.
Yeah, Cole Holcomb played bad too. Yeah, that's crazy. So Cordero Patterson, you think is going to have? Well, my buddy Jake.
Hope not.
Yeah, he's a Skins fan with me. I work with him, and he was like, in fantasy, I'm playing every Falcon I can find. I think right now
at this point,
yeah. I think he's literally starting Mike Davis and Cordero Patterson. He's getting it all. I think he has Kyle Pitts also. He's like, I'm finding every Falcon player I could get because we can't cover a soul on that defense. So what matchups are you looking at this game? What matchups are you looking at? And besides Cordero and the linebackers, of course, that's going to be a big one. But what are the matchups here you're looking at? And I'll give Chris a chance to talk too after that one.
I think it's just time for. Granted, coverage will help once we get some coverage sacks. That'll be nice, but defensive line has to dominate this Falcons O line. It's getting to the point that regardless of who we go against, our defensive line is supposed to win. But when we going against these offensive lines that aren't to the level of the Chiefs O line, to the level of even like the Chargers O line, we were supposed to beat up on that Giants O line more than we did. So like I've been saying it every week. This is y'all chance to bounce back, but no, for real, you can't lose this Falcons game and not expect us to be in panic mode. This is almost must win because how do you lose to the Falcons and expect to beat the Chiefs, Saints, Seahawks, Packers, Buccaneers? Like how do you even think we have a remote chance when these guys are out here getting blown out by these other teams? So
yeah,
but I think I'm pinpointing defensive line. Like literally when I'm watching the game, I'm looking at the defensive line every snap. I'll go back and look at everybody else in the all 22 hopefully when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
But defensive line is huge this game.
For sure. What about you, Chris?
My matchup is Jamin Davis and Kyle Pitts. If there's any moment in time for Jamin Davis to show and rise with that confidence, he has had success against Kyle Pitts in college, it's now. I don't want to see John Bostic on him. I don't want to see Landon Collins. I don't want to see Bobby McCain on him. I don't want to see none of that. Jamin Davis, this is what he's made for. Will Jack and Calvin Ridley. I think Calvin Ridley going to have a field day, personally. Calvin Ridley's been struggling a little bit because of, obviously, Matt Ryan. But I think Calvin Ridley going to have a field day, him and Will Jack. Offensive-wise, it's no matchup. It's a mismatch. They should abuse the Falcons. If we can't put up 28 points against the Falcons, it's a problem.
I agree.
They have the worst. I'm not gonna swear, but if Terry McLaurin leave this game with like 5 targets, somebody needs to go. Seriously.
He will swear at that point, right?
Because there's no way.
4-letter words flying out of Chris's mouth.
There's no way that he does not eat in this game. There's no way. In that D line, if they don't dominate this game, they're not dominating at all for the rest of the year. You can't. I don't want to. They're not going to get better. If they can't beat the mediocre teams, they're not going to get better.
It ain't going to get easier. That's for sure. It ain't going to get easier.
You got the Packers. If you can't do this, it's very important to win these next 2 to me, personally. If you can't dominate, even if we win, but we don't dominate the Falcons, so the deal is something. This needs to be changes. It needs to. I say this to Tim. What's the difference between James Smith-Williams and Chase Young at this point? You're getting the same production.
2 tackles for loss, maybe. Height, yeah.
So they got the D line. I agree with you. They got this. This has to be it to get it all together. Because there's no better game. Because you don't got any easy games coming up. Mm-hmm. So you have to get it together. If they can get it together now, cool. But Bobby McCain and Landon Collins, if they're together, they're scoring touchdowns. That's just how I feel. They're scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, they're slowly. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh, yeah, to your Kyle Pitts and Jamin Davis point, we see this all the time with our team. Watch this be Kyle Pitts' coming to the NFL game.
You're having some problems? Come to Washington.
Yeah. Play us. Schedule us when you need a player to finally find their soul, to find their calling, to have their best game of their career, to Drew Brees to set the career record for whatever he did. We just always seem to be that
Detroit,
team,
Owen forever. And they find a way to beat us. Yeah.
A few years ago. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah, man. We
And
can't allow Cal Pitts
even
to do
when we
that.
beat a team, they just go win the Super Bowl. They're like, crap, we're so upset that we lost. You know, think of the Giants, we swept them, they went and win the Super Bowl. We beat the Ravens that year, they went and win the Super Bowl, right? Like,
Oh,
we
the
find a way-
RG3 year, we did beat the Ravens in Baltimore. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, they get so upset that the team just turns it around real quick.
There's no way we lost to this team. There's no way.
Yep, for sure. All right. 5 keys to victory to beat Atlanta. I'm sure you didn't write them down or anything like that. So just spitting off the top of your head, go ahead. What would you say the 5 keys to victory are to beat this Atlanta Falcons team?
Gotta win in the trenches, even though I with as well as the offensive line's been playing, I expect us to win on the offensive side. The defense gotta step up.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jamin Davis versus Kyle Pitts is huge. Keep John Bostic off the field. I think Jamin Davis did play a little bit more snaps than John Bostic against the Bills, right? So let's continue that. Let's just keep giving Jamin Davis more snaps, and let match him up against Kyle Pitts, like Chris said. Definitely got to get the run game going and don't stop the run ourselves. Let the other team stop it. Don't stop it ourselves. Target our best players. Terry and Logan should be getting infinite targets. Logan Thomas in the red zone, Terry McLaurin in the first 80 yards and in the red zone as well. And then 5th, just don't get out coached. Jack Del Rio, please. Like, don't, like, I understand. Like, I mean, even my Falcons fan friends hate their head coach. He's terrible. So we get out coached this game. It's really time to take a look in the mirror for this team, because the Falcons fans hate their coach. Just like how before the Giants game, you had Giants fans like, man, please, if you're going to beat us, blow us out so we can have a reason to fire Jason Garrett. It's kind of the same thing with Falcons fans. Well, like, if you're going to beat us, kill us so we can get our head coach out of here type of thing. They hate him. So it's just like, if they're that bad, and they do well against us, we really got to take a look at ourselves.
Side note for that Giants thing, if they fire Jason Garrett, Freddie Kitchens is the next man up. So I don't know if they want Jason Garrett out of there.
That's a good point. I don't think they know that. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're aware of that.
But anyway, you have anything to add to those keys to victory there, Chris?
Get the ball to Terry.
Uh-huh.
Get the ball to Terry and Gibson. Logan too, but Terry and Gibson are the most important. Because you got to get their minds. Because I think if you lose them, they're losing them right now. I can see it. If you lose them early in the season, you have to keep them afloat. And right now they're angry. They really are. Gibson more so expresses it more than Terry does. Terry kind of expresses it in some little comments, but he just like articulates himself in a way that he can cover it up. But feed Terry, feed Gibson. Figure out something in the secondary. Figure out something in the secondary, because Calvin really, I don't care. He's going crazy. He's going to beat the crap out of whoever's checking him.
Mm-hmm.
Secondary, you got to figure something out. So that's what I got. Special teams, DeAndre Carter, do your thing.
There you go.
I think he's gonna break one loose at some point.
Yeah, he looks solid. He's got good burst. Like he's actually not a bad kick returner.
You know what? Since we probably go to be the bad teams, let's see some Dax Milne and not Adam Humphries. This is a perfect game. A perfect game to get all out guys. Diami finally. Give me Dax. I want to see Dax Milne.
There's a lot of what can be worse. It's like, can we just try to see what Dax Milne can do over Adam Humphries? Can we please see more Jamin Davis over John Bostic? It's kind of like, what can you look Khaleke Hudson over John Bostic? Mm-hmm. At this point, with as bad as we've been, what could it hurt to try these other guys? I super agree with that.
Yeah, I like Badhis Fatva's 5 keys to victory. Number 1, suck less. Number 2, read a book about situational football and play calling. 3,
for dummies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Football for dummies. We need that. Get Bostic a job at a taco truck.
Okay.
Run the ball 50% up the middle, and then blitz up the middle. I like those.
I agree.
Especially 1 and 2. I think 1 and 2 are the keys. The real keys, if we're really looking at it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to add a point to losing Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson. I think it just even goes beyond what we see on Sundays. You're out here giving 110% every practice, running these labs, running these routes. You're not going to McDonald's even though you want to, because you're like, I got to be in the best shape just to get in the game and only get 4 targets. That has to eat at you over time. It has to.
Right. Yeah. And it does suck. It does. So the only two things that I'm going to add that you guys didn't, because you got 3 out of my 5 with the Terry run the football, and then you gotta freaking win the line of scrimmages on defense. Don't let Matt just sit behind the line of scrimmage waiting for Calvin Ridley to find an open spot.
Run. He can't run.
He can't.
Come on, bro. Yeah, our last 3 quarterbacks all could run. All was mobile.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones, and what's the other boy?
Josh
Allen.
Josh Allen.
Yep. So the only other two were, don't leave them within striking distance. They beat the Giants with 10 points to finish the game. This offense, while inconsistent, is explosive enough where they can all of a sudden go off. You talk about the Kyle Pitts, you talk about Calvin Ridley. Mike Davis is not a terrible running back. Russell Gage is not a bad second receiver. Like, Matt Ryan has won an MVP. This offense has the explosiveness, and you talk about Cordell Patterson, to win the game if it's close. Just please, if we're up by 7, put their foot on their neck, as Doc Walker likes to say, and just squeeze, right?
I got one more key to victory. If we win a coin toss, receive. I don't want to see the defense.
Oh yeah, first. I agree. Yeah, I'm to the point that I'm tired of it. Yeah, we need to receive. That's crazy too, because I'm super duper.
I'm standing pack, Rico. I'm standing pack. I say I want the ball outside of half. I know. I know what you guys.
That's always been me for years. But I'm tired of it.
It's 7-0, 7-0, 7-0 so far in every single game. Yeah, we can't let them score 7-0 again. Please don't do it. And then the last key to victory that I had was get turnovers. We're not getting enough turnovers on the
because the one player that does get turnovers barely plays on the field. That's none of my business.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Like literally, I don't think we've had a turnover the last 2 games, right?
Will Jack got a pick.
Well, that was the Chargers game.
That was the Chargers game, so no.
Yeah. Did we get one against? I don't think we got one against the Giants. We didn't pick them off.
I mean, the kickoff.
Well, the kickoff, that's as good as a turnover. I'll take it. But technically speaking, it's not from our defense, and that's another thing. Just like I forgot to even write that in my notes.
No, that was the Chargers too. I was gonna say the Montez. That's isn't technically a turnover, but
it shouldn't have been. It was a turnover, but it shouldn't have been the fumble. But anyway, it's sad when you're playing the Bills and your best player is Dustin Hopkins. That's going to be disastrous. And then your second best player is your punter. You're not going to have a great day when MVP, the game ball goes to Dustin Hopkins. Yeah, nobody wanted that ball. All right, so score predictions for this Atlanta Falcons game, or if you want to do it on your channel, like what do you got on the final score of this Atlanta game? I'm not even going to lie, I didn't even write one down, so this is going to be off the top of my head too. But
same here.
Let's go Chris first. Chris, what's your score prediction?
35-16. 35-17.
Who? Us?
Us.
Of course.
35-17 because Taylor Heinicke, he's his hometown. He got a lot of friends and family. I think he's going to show out. 35-17. There's no way you can't put up this many points. 35-17. And if Curtis comes back, I don't know if Curtis coming back or not. If Curtis comes back, I'm going to say 42.
Okay.
Speaking of hometown, Antonio Gibson is from like 15 minutes outside of Atlanta, and Montez Sweat is from Stone Mountain. So if there's any time for them to show up as well, this would be a great game. Jamie Davis from somewhere out there in Georgia, but maybe. I'm going 31-13 us. Because I just think this is, if we're gonna get it together, is this game. I think this is our chance to make a statement. Now, beating the Falcons 31-13 isn't gonna skyrocket us up power rankings, but I think it will damper some. Oh man, we need to tank for a quarterback and all of this type of stuff that's already starting to happen right now.
Yep, I'm gonna say 28-20. I don't think we're holding anybody under 20 points anytime soon. So I think they're at least going to get 20. But I think we should be able to score enough to win this game. Maybe it's not going to be 20. Maybe it's 27 because we're going to get a couple field goals in there or something like that. But I think 27. I'm going to go with 27-20 as my final score because this defense. I always tell Chris I hope he's right majority of the time because I like to be the quote unquote realist, but I will happily be wrong if we hold this team under 20 points. That would be great, but I don't see it's gonna happen. Yep, that's fun. All right, cool. So we all got us winning hopefully that's not an omen or something stupid. Uh-oh. Roger, we're linebacker leaving. We're laughing stop leaking Atlanta. We lose 24-14. Oh, man, if we only score 14 against
That's
this defense.
horrible.
And
We're
then
not
the
losing
finger
that
pointing
game.
starts.
I can assure you. There's no way we lose. I don't see a scenario situation where we lose that game.
To be honest,
I'm Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
Jack Del Rio, Scott Turner, get out my locker room. Y'all done. There's no way you can lose that game.
It would
No
put
way.
a little bit of a stain on Rivera for me to lose to this team in this situation.
And the thing about it is Rivera
he's
can't
got to
backtrack.
have it better.
He can't, but he got to have a better record than last year. He can't regress.
And
Because
as far as
right now,
Ron Rivera goes, it looks like he left Carolina. I mean, of course, a lot of things happened in between, but he's left Carolina, and now they're one of the very few undefeated teams. So that's definitely something that's looming over them as well.
Yeah. They are 3-0. They did get their quarterback. With Rivera's last couple of years, he didn't really have a quarterback anymore because Cam Newton was regressing and injured quite often. So, to be slightly fair, but they are looking good. There's no doubt. Matt Rule is doing some good things down there in Carolina, so I do like that. I'm going to Miami. I can't take it if we lose. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. It's not going to be fun for us if we lose. Oh, please don't. We could be 0-3 right now if we didn't sneak by the Giants. Could you imagine? And now we're going against the 1-2. We could have we could be the team with the worst record if we lost to the Giants. Okay, no more thinking about that.
It puts more pressure on us because the Giants and Eagles are out of it, and Dallas got an easy schedule. They can't play around. It's between us and Dallas at this point. I think you have to win these next two games and split between Chiefs and Green Bay. If you lose this game, we're not win. We're going like 1-7 through the whole way.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
At that point, it's like somebody gotta go.
We have the second hardest schedule by record after week 3. Like if you look at everyone's record and add them up, the Giants have a harder schedule.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs are struggling right now.
And that includes with the Chiefs at 1-2, and we still have the second hardest schedule moving forward.
I think we got a chance in every game, personally. But I don't want to see the defense on the field. Just receive the ball every single time because you keep going down 7-0, and then you expect Scott Turner to just come out and just score. No, we need to get up. We get up. That way other teams play catch up instead of us playing catch up throughout the whole game. Which is just dumb.
Yep. And also about the Chiefs, he has a point. Bod also said, and I think other people have said in the comments, like the Chiefs are looking suspect. The Chiefs lost to a really good well-coached Ravens team with Lamar Jackson, and they lost to the Chargers, who are really, really good football team as well. Like in a close game, 30-24. So let's pump the brakes on the Chiefs not being good, but they still have Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. Eric Bieniemy, they're going to be all right.
I think the biggest disappointment for them is their O-line because they were supposed. I mean, they got all of those new pieces traded for guys, signed all pro guys, and they're not living up to their expectations. Just like our defense is extremely disappointing. The Chiefs' offensive line is pretty similar because they were supposed to have a top 3, top 5 offensive line on paper, and it just doesn't look like it yet.
Okay.
To be honest with you, bro, we just gotta be. If we can just be 10% better. That should be good enough. Just 10. Even 10-20% better, it should be good enough.
Yep, for sure. All right, so last couple of things around here. I like to go around the NFC East, just take a look at what's going on. Of course, we just talked about the Giants went down to the Falcons 17-14, giving up 10 points on the last 2 drives, a touchdown, and then the field goal to end it. How must the Giants fans be looking? Go ahead, Streets. How must they be feeling? 0-3. They thought they were going to win this division. This is going to be Kenny Galladay. This is going to be the receiver, Kadarius Toney. Like, this is going to be Daniel Jones. He has all the weapons now. And then they're 0-3.
And it's crazy, too, because I thought if they say they were 0-3 at this point, I would have thought it would have been because of injuries. Kenny Galladay can't stay healthy. Adoree Jackson can't stay healthy. Saquon can't stay. All of those guys are playing. They're healthy, and to an extent, at least enough to play. Yep. It's just not working. Again, the fold against Atlanta, allowing 10 points the final 2 drives. I wish I still lived in New York too. I can't wait to move back because I would love to see what their reaction is. Just walking around, just like because like you said, there were huge expectations coming in. They thought on paper they were the most talented team in the division. You could see that argument there. The Cowboys had the best quarterback. We supposedly had the best defense, and then Giants were probably the best overall team in the division. You could argue on paper. So for them to be 0-3, the only team to not have a win in the division is hilarious.
Yeah, especially since the Eagles aren't, in my opinion, a very good team at all, and they already have a win, and they beat that Atlanta team that the Giants could not win. Yeah, that's. But go ahead, Chris. How must Giants fans be feeling right now?
I mean, they should feel terrible. I think, like I say, I like Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is one of those quarterbacks who can make all the throws, but he makes too many dumb decisions. And it gets on my nerves. I'm pulling for him because I see it. I see it there. It's just like, boy, what are you doing sometimes?
He put Daniel Jones on his fantasy team before week 1. That's how much faith.
I did. I had faith in Daniel Jones, to be honest with you. But it's like their defense was supposed to be way better than what it was.
Yeah. Blake Martinez is hurt.
They lost Blake Martinez.
Out for the year.
That's a huge loss.
Oh, didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
and then it's like
he tore his ACL this game.
They own 3. That's pretty much it. So Daniel Jones, I think they draft a quarterback. They probably see if they can trade Daniel Jones off or have Daniel Jones as a good backup. But they got to fix their O-line. They have to fix their O-line because Saquon and they got to fix their O-line.
Yeah.
They got all the weapons. The weapons are Evan Ingram. He on borrowed time to me. Evan Ingram has the potential to be the best tight end ever, but he can't catch.
Or
and
stay healthy.
Or stay. Oh, you know what? This is a good point. Before we hop into this, the Eagles-Dallas game, I didn't even think to ask, but what are your thoughts on the potential of Cam Newton coming here? You think that should be like? Do you think it is a thought of Ron, or do you think it should be a thought of Ron?
Regardless of all Westlake High School bias, I feel like I prefer Taylor Heineke over Cam. I definitely prefer. I do not like Kyle Allen. I feel like if we get to the point of Kyle Allen, then you call Cam. I think right now is a little premature. You don't want Taylor Heineke having a guy behind him and trying to take his job. Let Taylor Heineke do what he does best and see if he give him. He has a nice QB gauntlet to prove himself. If you can't win at least some of these games in there, of course you got to isolate things as the defense selling and all of that.
Compete. If you can't compete.
Yeah. Thank you. Then maybe you move on. But my main point is with Cam Newton, before you get to Kyle Allen, you get to Cam Newton. Unless there's like an injury mid-game, of course you got to throw Kyle Allen in there because Cam Newton's not on the roster.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I've already seen what I need to see from Kyle Allen. I prefer Cam. And again, I have every reason to be the most biased person doing it. The Southwest Atlanta hero and all of that.
Yeah.
But I know, what was he, like 10 for 11 the last preseason game we saw him? I'm not expecting him to be able to do that every game. I don't think he's just that much better a passer now. Mm-hmm. But I still take any of that hurt Cam, hobbled Cam, can't run as well Cam, inaccurate Cam over Kyle Allen. I'm so sorry. Kyle Allen's DEFCON red.
And immobile Cam is way more mobile than Kyle Allen, right?
Man, please.
For sure. Cam is garbage, or he would have a job right
Cam
now.
Mac
Jones looks solid, right?
I don't think Cam trash personally.
Yeah, I don't think he's terrible.
But personally, I actually don't really like him. If I'm being honest, I don't want him. He throws it just to me when I watch him, and I haven't sat there and watched a ton of Cam, if I'm being honest, but the touch is that he doesn't seem to have that touch. He throws every ball a zillion miles an hour. Like the guy has
kind of like
arm.
Haskins.
Yeah, it's just ding, like just comes right in there, and it's like trying to get over those linebackers or trying to do something. Like I don't know. Like there's stuff about Cam being a thrower, and then in his older age where he's going to have to rely on throwing more than him being a running quarterback. I personally don't want to go down the Cam Newton route.
I wouldn't.
But but to your point, I mean, if I had to pick one, Cam Newton or Kyle Allen, I mean, don't make me choose, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm clearly I'm not signed Cam right now because I'm definitely Taylor Heineke over him. But when we get to that Kyle Allen territory, maybe even Steven Montez, I don't even think I think with Kyle Sherman, Yeah, Steve Montez left. He went to the Lions. Thank you.
We have
then we consider
Shermer's son. What's Shermer?
Oh, I
Pat
didn't
Shermer's
get
son,
that.
Kyle Shermer.
Yeah, Kyle Shermer. Kyle Shermer.
I mean, he's protected on the practice squad.
Chris,
They
you don't know about
like
the
him.
GOAT, Kyle Shermer?
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know Kyle Shermer? Kyle Shermer's can't play. Dude, secret weapon. So secret nobody knows. Including Kyle.
I'm about to say including him.
Yeah, his mother is the only one. He's a beast. Nah. All right. Enough about Cam. Let's go to this Monday night game. And Dallas, they're starting to put it together. And I think one of the scariest parts is they're able to get turnovers. Dan Quinn is getting that defense they're not good yet because they still have lack of personnel. But Micah Parsons is figuring it out. The D end is the spot for him. Or Von Miller style D end outside linebacker, mainly rush the quarterback and get after it. That's scary. Dak Prescott, of course, has the weapons. Has the Zeke Elliott had a great game, and Tony Pollard seems like the offensive line blocks like the Red Sea for him. Good gosh, he gets 7 yards before he gets touched. Like, are you scared of this Dallas team, and do you think they're going to take the division here?
Oh, man, the way we've been playing these past 3 games versus how they played the last 3 games, we're getting swept. Now, I just don't think we've gotten to our potential. I think once we fix a lot of things, we'll be better and we have a good chance. But if we had to play them this upcoming week instead of Atlanta, we're losing. And I don't even think it's close. I think it's probably by like 20 points the way we've been playing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dallas, I don't think they're necessarily Super Bowl contenders, but they definitely look like the division favorites easily right now with how everybody's playing.
What about you, Chris?
I'm not sold on Dallas because they haven't played anybody to me. You know how I feel about Tampa.
They beat the Chargers.
If you watch that game, Chargers beat the Chargers. They scored.
Refs a little bit too. The refs did.
I did hear about. I never watched the game, but I heard the refs were bad. But go ahead.
It's not like they played anybody. Tampa, you know how I feel about their defense. I said they was overrated, and they proven me right. So, I mean, and you played the Eagles. So what am I supposed to do with that? You haven't played nobody. And really, when you play against the Panthers, they don't have J.C. Horn, and I think they missing somebody else. So, and can be Christian McCaffrey. So I'm not going to be impressed with that if you beat them. So they haven't had any impressive wins to me. They haven't played nobody with a good defense yet. So I told Tim, I believe we can go 5-1 in this division. We're going to split with Dallas and beat the other ones and sweep them. And then probably kind of figure out to get some wins along the road and we can win the division that way. But Dallas doesn't scare me because they haven't played nobody. You got all these analysts, they're back. No, they're not. They haven't played anybody.
Tampa's secondary is garbage. Their front seven is awesome. But they were bad last year. I mean, they just
played well in the playoffs. They weren't good throughout the regular season secondary wise. The playoffs, they just stepped up.
Yeah, well, and it dropped passes or whatever it may have been. It's like
that's
the Tom Brady effect. They just figure it out for Tom Brady.
Tired of getting yelled at.
I mean, Tom Brady, just a quick side note, is undefeated in the playoffs when he does not throw a touchdown. I mean, that's insane. Yeah.
That's so weird.
He is undefeated when he does not throw a touchdown. Teams win Super Bowls, and he gets teams around him. And they just figure it out.
Tired of getting yelled at.
Tom, don't play. Do your job. You remember the Atlanta game? The Atlanta Super Bowl? All he was saying going down the sideline is just do your job. I got the rest. Do your job. If I throw it to you, catch it. If you're covering somebody, cover him.
I mean, Tom Brady's the guy. He's up 30-7 in false start, cussing people out. Like he's just that type of guy. You got to show up when you play for him and play with him.
Yep, and then it's funny. Then you hear stories about how Rob doesn't do crap. Rob Gronkowski.
Oh yeah, he doesn't watch film at all.
Yeah,
he just hits up Tom Brady like, who are we going against?
Yeah, and it's like, and Tom, I guess, is like, you know what? When I throw it, you catch it, and you do things with it. So you know what? I'll keep you. It's like, I don't care if you're an idiot. Just catch it when I throw it to you, and go do some things. And it seems like that's it. So, but yeah, as far as like Dallas, I think Dallas is definitely should be the clear favorite, are the clear favorites. As you mentioned, they have the best quarterback in the division, and it's not close. There's nobody remotely on the same level as Dak Prescott. And on top of that, he's got weapons. He's got a run game with Zeke and Tony Pollard. You got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. I know Michael Gallup's hurt right now. The tight ends look solid. They're not great, but Schultz and Jarwin are still good. And then, as I said, what I'm most scared about, honestly, is you combine that offense with a guy from the Legion of Boom who knows how to coach defense. And to me, he seems like he's doing a great job with, like, if you switched Jack Del Rio and him, imagine what this defense would look like. I mean, good grief. We actually have talent over here, and yet Dallas, on every objective measure, is better than our defense right now, which is insane.
Shouldn't be
yeah, and they've gone against decent offenses, right? They went against Tampa, and they went against the Chargers. And they had 4 turnovers against Tampa. They had 2 turnovers against the Chargers, I think it was. Like, they're doing good things, and not that I think they're great, but they're coached well, and that's so important. So I do think Dallas is for real when it comes to this division. Of course, I agree with you. I did not have them listed as one of – I had like 8 teams that before this year that I thought could win a Super Bowl, and Dallas was not one of them. But we'll see. Good luck to them. Or actually, bad luck. I don't want them to do it. So
Yep.
All right, and now we'll go to the other team in that game. Jalen Hurts, prime time. I haven't watched a lot of them personally. I didn't go back and watch like all the games last year. He got benched in our game, of course, so I haven't seen a whole lot of Jalen Hurts. So this was one of my first times really, all right, let's take a look at what I'm seeing out of Jalen. And Jalen did not have his best day. What do you think about Nick Sirianni's coached Eagles right now?
I mean, I've never been a big fan of Jalen Hurts, even coming out of college. I know he started to get a little overhyped to me after that Saints game last year where he had a really good game. And I think he's decent, but I just don't see them winning a Super Bowl with him. I think he'll probably be good enough, especially with them being excited and being able to run. They're going to stick with them through some drafts where they should have gotten rid of him and got another quarterback. But at the same time, I think they're setting him up for failure offense-wise. I think the scheme around him is atrocious, and he's just out here having to play hero ball because the coaching is so bad. So again, I'm not a big Jalen Hurts fan, but I think more blame goes to the Eagles' offensive scheming and coaching and everything like that.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni seems like a goofball, but what do you think about that the Eagles team?
It hurt because I believed in Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Because he showed me some stuff last season. But this dude, and I'm going to say you called it, this dude Devontae Smith, I don't know what he's doing. I don't understand it at all. And I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. What was he, a top 10 pick?
Yeah, number 10.
What, top 12?
I think they traded up to 10.
Like, boy, you got to give me something.
Yep.
Something. Zach Ertz, he owed his dirt. I get it. Goddard, Brager, Sega Whiteside. I mean, you got Miles
second or first round picks.
You got talent.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, the Eagles, they screw. I mean, I ain't going to say they screw because they got 3 first rounders. So they can do whatever they want at this point.
Yep.
So, I mean, they pretty much probably going to take it. It'd be smart for them to take it.
Imagine drafting Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, and then the next year drafting Devontae Smith over Justin Fields.
Oh, and before that, Arthego Whiteside over Terry.
And Arthego Whiteside over Terry. And DK Metcalf, right?
Oh, yeah. I think.
And maybe even A.J. Brown.
I think A.J. Brown was before Terry.
Well, DK was like the last pick of the second round. Like, he was like the last pick.
I thought DK went in the first.
Who, DK?
I think DK went late first.
No. He was late second. He was projected like mid to late first. Yeah, yep. And he kept falling. Yeah, you could go look it up. DK was on the phone crying with Pete Carroll. What took you so long to draft me? Because he thought he was going to be a first round pick, and then all of a sudden he's not in the first round, and then it's like going through the second. He's not getting drafted, and he actually got really emotional when he finally heard his name because he was like
second overall. You're right.
Yeah. So I remember that one vividly. But yeah, so J.J. Arcega Whiteside over DK or Terry McLaurin. Wow. Yeah. Or over Chase Claypool, Jalen Reagor over Claypool.
Yeah.
Well, you could say, I like Chase Claypool. I don't know what he's looking like this year, but
Yeah,
I mean,
he looking
6'4",
good.
6'5", running a sub 4.4. Sign me up, okay? Just figure it out.
I'll try that. I'll try it.
Over what I'm getting out of Jalen Reagor? or Rager, however you want to say his last
They
name.
got
Absolutely.
some problems over there, boy. But guess what? They're gonna have that cap space and they got that draft capital, so it might turn around. They might get a franchise quarterback before we do.
Hey, keep drafting first-round wide receivers, and you're gonna keep sucking. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be
right
great.
now, according to the draft order, if the draft will be today, but all 3 of their first round picks are top 10, I believe, right now. It's crazy.
That's nasty. I gotta admit.
But granted, one of them's the Dolphins, I think, and I think they're gonna get better, which will fall out of top 10, maybe.
Well, they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett over Tua's hurt.
Yeah, I think Deshaun Watson is on his way to Miami, personally.
I mean, I like Brian Flores. I like what he's done down there in Miami, but I mean, we talked about can't be a consistent winner with no quarterback. And Jacoby Brissett, I mean, say what you want, the best preseason game ever. Apparently, he had Did you know that?
What?
Jacoby Brissett has he had 400 and something yards and 4 touchdowns and ran one in a preseason game. He's had the best preseason game of all time. I looked that up after the Huntley, the Huntley game where he destroyed us for 400 and or 300 or whatever it was and 4 touchdowns and ran it in. I was like, dude, is this the best preseason game ever? But no, Jacoby Brissett holds it. All right, there you go. There's something you could take away that you didn't know before.
Did not know that.
No. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you got to be able to get a quarterback to win. So anyway, but that's crazy for the Eagles that they could potentially have top 5 or 3 top 10 picks, even if it's 3 top 18 picks. That's still awesome.
They're gonna have the number 1 pick.
They're gonna have the number 1.
I'm gonna go out on them. They're gonna have the number 1 pick.
Even with how Atlanta's playing.
Their schedule is not friendly. Atlanta got to win. They got to win too, but Atlanta might get another one. But I think he's going to get another 1 pick.
I mean, the Jets are bad. The Houston's garbage. I don't know how they got to win.
The Jets not going to take a quarterback, though.
Jets are not taking a quarterback.
They're not taking a quarterback.
They may go get that Kayvon Thibodeau.
The edge rusher from
I know he got
definitely
hurt.
See that.
But when I was watching film for Javon Holland, that safety from Oregon, and number 5 popped off the screen, I'm like, this dude is incredible.
Don't you love that when you watch film and you're looking for somebody specifically, but you're like, bro, this other guy just keeps making plays. Like, who is he?
Yep. I had no clue who Kayvon Thibodeau was at all because he wasn't coming out, and I don't really watch college football. But I saw number 5. I'm like, okay, that guy's legit. And then I looked him up, and it's like, oh, he's projected top 5 pick next year. Makes sense. All right, got it. But Steelers offense stinks. That's true.
I got a question for you.
For who?
If Rico.
All right, go for it.
Sir.
All things are clear with Deshaun Watson, and this D line still play like this, do you hesitate to just say you can have a? Me personally, I was at a mindset if they play like this and everything's clear with Deshaun Watson, they can have an edge and a D tackle if they're choosing. And 3, we're just getting 3 first.
Man, quarterbacks win games. Granted, another bias. Deshaun Watson's from Georgia. So, I would love to have him for a whole lot of biased reasons. But yeah, with the way this defensive line is playing right now, and if Deshaun Watson is clear of everything, and in the way we saw him almost beat the Chiefs that one playoffs where they were up, and then just the Texans.
21?
Yeah, bro, they was up 20-something, and the team just wasn't that good. It was just the Deshaun Watson show. Chiefs, Pat Mahomes took over. They were like, wait, we're better than these guys.
It was 24-0, and they scored the next 42 points or something ridiculous. Yeah,
Deshaun Watson can carry a bad team, and my argument has always been, because I've always been like, we need to go do whatever we got to do to get a quarterback. A lot of people were like, well, look at Deshaun Watson. He still only won 4 games that year. But my point is, we're not if you take away quarterback from the Texans and take away quarterback from us, we're nowhere near as bad as the Texans, at least, talent-wise and on paper. I feel like we are Deshaun Watson away from being a really good team. Not to blame Taylor Heineke for the Chargers loss and things like that, but those guys take you to another level. He makes up for your lack of linebackers. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. You can get linebacker, free agency, late in the draft, whatever.
My thing about anybody really, like any position, but to me it applies to quarterbacks, is I don't like, especially quarterbacks, to pay a guy more than 13% of your cap space. And if we traded for Watson, he would take more than 13% of your cap space.
I don't care because the two guys that I'm going to have to pay, they're gone. So I can give him the money.
Well,
so it's not like
you're gonna have to trade picks as well. You're not just giving them up for two players.
Okay, you can have the picks too.
So now I'm losing first round picks, and I'm paying one dude $40 million in a cap hit.
Is it worth it?
To me, honestly, like
there is a statistic for that. It's like when a quarterback is making a certain percentage of a team's salary cap. I forgot what the threshold was.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's done it in the NFL history yet.
Tom Brady was the most at like 13.1% just last year. Like if you go back at Peyton Manning, he was only like 12%. Tom Brady was never higher than 12% because he was like never the highest paid quarterback, because he's smart and he realizes, wait, if I'm going to be the legend known as TB12, I need to win Super Bowls. All right, like. And so he took less money. You could go even back way to like Steve Young or John Elway or whatever. Like you could go look. They didn't overpay for one single player. They built a team, and that's my one knock on Deshaun Watson. I agree that Deshaun Watson's a stud. He's clearly a stud. There's no denying it, and I think he would objectively make us better. But are we winning a Super Bowl by paying a guy that much money?
I don't think so. Problem. I don't think that'll be a problem because you're getting rid of two guys that's going to want probably 20+ million, and you keep that cap. So you still have money to play with just by getting. Even if you get him, you still got money to play with. My problem when I didn't want Watson was I still got to pay all these guys, and then if we try to trade for him, then it was like a whole trickle down effect. But if I'm losing two guys that I don't got to pay, and I'm adding him, so it's like, okay, I still have the money, and I can go out and just get whatever else I want to play with. So, but that's just me.
I think the cap space is gonna skyrocket like quicker than it's ever done before too. Whatever this new TV deal is supposed to be, I think Amazon is like a part of it or something. It's supposed to be like the biggest TV deal like ever for football. So I think that's why the Cowboys were like, all right, we got to go ahead on this TV deal coming up. We can pay Dak whatever he wants. You know, he thinks he's winning, but really 3 years down the line, he's going to be one of the lower paid coaches. So I think that $40 million is a lot, but I think when we look back, if we were to make that trade today, we look back 2 years from now, I don't think it would be at that 15%, 13% of the cap space, because I'm just banking on the cap space going up once they recoup from COVID and all of that type of stuff. At least I hope.
But I just threw that out there. If they keep playing like this, I'm always been team draft a quarterback.
Yeah, you just threw that out there. No more audibles over there, Chris. I don't like it. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. It's cool. That was no more audibles. No, that's fine.
I'm team draft your guy too as well if we can.
Yeah.
They might regret not trading up for Justin Fields. They really might, because he was right there for the taking.
One interesting point about that too is that we like Justin Fields more than Tua. So maybe this team can scout quarterbacks better than we think they can, because they were higher on Tua than a lot of other teams where we just felt like the obvious choice was just you got to take Chase or you may regret it, especially if Herbert doesn't work out. So after hearing that, I don't know how much I believe it, but if I can believe it, I have a little bit more trust in our team evaluating quarterbacks correctly and getting their guy after hearing that they wanted Herbert more.
That's because of Kyle Smith. I don't know about Martin Mayhew and Marty Herney. All right, Mister, I draft a punter in the 5th round, and that's my best draft ever. Is when I drafted a punter in the 5th round. Like, okay, like, good grief, Herney's situation in Detroit was not Herney. Mayhew's situation in Detroit was terrible. I mean, he drafted Brandon Pettigrew. The other tight end, Eric Ebron. I think he drafted in the 1st round. Like, he drafted so much. And he drafted one guy that was like, obviously going to be a bust because of all the off the field issues. Like at the time they were talking, I can't remember the D tackle, and he was like off the team by the next year. Like it's just like, come on, like you got to be smarter than that. Oh man. Anyway, that's a side note. How did you feel about losing Kyle Smith? You don't have to go long on that because I know that was a while ago. But
man, I mean, I was a believer in Kyle Smith. It kind of hurt. I mean,
he's down there in Atlanta now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's back and forth though, because we talk about how we haven't hit on a 2nd round pick in forever. We draft very well in the 3rd. We've been pretty good with 1st, but the 2nd round picks, even while Kyle Smith was here, have been terrible. The Sua Cravens, the Ryan Andersons, things like that. He was a part of that.
Well, that was the Scott McLuhan debacle was that. I know Kyle Smith was here technically. Was Stuart Cravens. I think Kyle Smith had been there was here for like 10 years as at least as a scout. But Scott McLuhan's garbage, Josh Doxson, Stuart Cravens, and now Kendall Fuller's looking like the bust of the rest of that draft. But anyway, sorry, but you can go on.
Yeah, I mean, I was sad to lose him, but I mean, maybe it's just a fan of me looking at the negatives. Like, well, you know what? Kyle Smith wasn't as perfect as we thought once he left. But I was sad when he left because, I mean, we did find some really good talent late in drafts. I mean, even Chris's boy, Cameron Curl. Really, it's everybody's boy. We all love Cameron Curl.
Exactly.
In the 7th round is
Curl,
ridiculous.
just to be fair enough, Chris was on Curl, early. I was still I mean, he's still only a rookie. I don't know. We'll see if he can. And he was no, Curl's the man. Week 4.
Oh, you got me. I didn't know. Even through training camp, Ron Rivera kept hyping him up. I was like, I got to see.
Exactly.
You got me on that one for sure.
Yeah, he was week 4. Before we even talked like this with Mike's, he was in my comment section. Curl's a beast. Curl's a beast. It's
okay. He's always there when you need him.
Yep. All right, man. I always have you for 2 hours. Sorry for keeping you so long there, Rico. But all right, the last 2 things I like to do. We forgot to do it last week, me and Chris. We did it at least week 1, but a top 5 power rankings. I know I'm sure you didn't write this down again, but just over the top of your head, who's the top 5 teams right now going into week 4?
Sucks too because it's really hard to keep the Chiefs out, but they just haven't played well.
Well, it's put 1 and 2 team in your top 5. It's tough.
Yes. It's just it sounds like you're making a mistake. Obviously, the Raiders actually look pretty good. I mean, they make good plays in the clutch. I mean, we were having all those Derek Carr debates amongst Burgundy and Gold Twitter and stuff. But
I want Derek Carr? Did I want Derek Carr, Chris?
Yeah, you did.
Anyway,
right now I think he's in the past 3-4 years or something like that. He has the most game-winning drives. I think Matthew Stafford is second, and supposedly we tried to get both of them.
Well, in order to get a game-winning drive, you got to get down.
That is a good point. A lot of the great quarterbacks don't necessarily play from behind. That is a good point. I didn't even think of that. I feel like the Raiders just offered. I mean, because I'm not going to trust Carolina, but I may put enough trust in the Raiders to keep them somewhere in my top 5, maybe number 5. The Ravens just have a tendency to beat themselves, but they're still really good. I have to have them. The Buccaneers, when they're on point, they're really on. Granted, defense is what a lot of people expected it to be. I honestly expected a regression as well. Just first of all, law of averages, you can't be that good again. It's just really hard to do that, especially when you don't have an Aaron Donald that can carry it. But I still think the Buccaneers are a top team. The Packers scare me. They're so weird. I mean, are the Lions good? These teams that just keep barely beating the Lions, are the Lions good? I have no idea. So I don't know what stock to buy in the Green Bay Packers. It's a really hard top 5. The Rams have to be. I think I have to have Rams number 1. They just the most complete team right now. And I'm a big. I mean, maybe I'm biased. UGA, love Matthew Stafford. I've always loved him. Felt like once he had a complete team, he would be good. Even though he did have Calvin Johnson, so I got to dock him for that. I mean, granted, the organization was so bad. Calvin Johnson, even Barry Sanders back then, quit in their prime because they're like, I can't do this anymore. So, and Matthew Stafford had to continue working with the team that Calvin Johnson quit from. I think I would have to probably go Rams number 1. They don't look unbeatable. I don't think there's just this Rams gap everybody else. But they have to be my number 1 right now.
I agree.
I feel like I'm missing somebody as that 5th. I guess somebody else can budge in because I know I said Raiders, Ravens.
You're good. That was good. So you said the Raiders, who were the 4 that you mentioned? Raiders,
Rams.
Raiders,
Rams.
Ravens.
Yeah. That's 3. I did say a 4th.
I thought you did too.
Oh, Buccaneers. I gotta have my Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
I still gotta have the Buccaneers in there.
That's right. That was your 4th. And one last one.
The Cardinals, the way they played, I thought the Cardinals were really good, and then they let me down. Cardinals were definitely in my top 5, but then they let me down. I don't know. That's hard. I really don't know.
All right, Chris, what do you got?
I really don't know.
I got the Denver Broncos at 5.
Okay.
The Broncos at 5. Teddy Two Glove doing his thing right now. And that
It's
defense,
trash.
that's how a defense is supposed to play.
Yeah, that defense is crazy.
Like it's hot garbage. It's hot garbage. The Jets,
My fourth
the
team,
Giants.
I'm going with the Browns. My fourth team will be the Browns.
Okay.
I can see
The
that.
Browns.
On
First
paper.
off, the Browns beat the crap out of the Chiefs badly. If Nick Chubb does not fumble, they kill them. I watched that whole game. I mean, they was having fun. It was like before halftime, they did this weird like
Chiefs
they
could be
threw
0-3 right now. That's nuts.
They threw it to Jarvis Landry. He ran all the way down the field. And they almost scored a touchdown. They was beating. I don't think if the Chiefs see them in the playoffs, the Chiefs gonna get smoked.
Okay.
So I got the Browns at 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna say the Cardinals at. What's that? 3.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense is what I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
They defense. I always say if Chandler Jones and what's that other boy, J.J. Watt can stay healthy, and Zayvon Collins, Isaiah Simmons has been playing well.
Mm-hmm.
I can't lie. If they can stay healthy, they got something there. So I put them up there, and if Kyler Murray can stay healthy, so I put them at 3. 2. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with my Panthers, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my Panthers, man. Because I've been on the Panthers as soon as the offseason, I said the Panthers was gonna win this division, and right now they making me look good. So I'm gonna go with the Panthers, and I'm gonna go with the Rams. My Super Bowl pick.
There you go. Yeah, you did have them in your Super Bowl. All right, so my top 5 is I got also the number 1 Rams. I think the Rams are clearly the top. They're well coached. Matt Stafford, great defense, the whole 9. They got it all. And I see what you're saying though, as far as like they're probably not like a clear cut above everyone else, but at the same time they're probably the most complete team in football right now, top to bottom. And Matt Stafford's playing like a stud. I got number 2. I got the Browns. All right, I think the Browns are solid. I agree with the they should have beat the Chiefs. And they're talk about another just deep team down top to bottom. The defense is playing great. JOK is playing great, which I was a little bit of a hater of, if I'm being honest. But JOK, I heard he's like one of the highest rated linebackers right now.
No, I'm saying here we go, because it's like we got Jamin, and they got the one guy we didn't want. He's playing well. Jamin's not. So
I mean, I was in JOK at 51. My whole point was that people want to take JOK at 19.
Yeah, I wasn't.
You know what I mean? Like at 51, I mean, he was there at 51. I think he got drafted
That's
at 52.
because he had a heart problem.
Yeah, I think so.
And
anyway.
undersized, and I think Hart was the most of it. But some other people, unless you weren't going to plant the will.
Yeah, because I thought he was probably going to have to move to like not necessarily move, but like at least like play like that strong safety in the box kind of role. And we didn't need that. We had Cameron Curl, we had Landon Collins. That was another reason why I was just like, meh, to me. But anyway. But the Browns are looking great. Number 3, I still got the Super Bowl champs, the Bucks. I know their secondary is hot garbage, but they're still got Tom Brady. They still got tons of weapons on offense. The front 7 is the best in football. I got the Bucks. Number 4, the front 7 is the best in football. Is that even negotiable?
Yeah, it is.
Until our guys play like they're supposed to, they might get it.
Well, we could maybe beat their front 4 compared to our front 4, but we're not beating their front 7.
Devontae David and Devin White,
Yeah, once you add those two, it's over. I mean, is there anybody else that's in the discussion?
Right,
maybe the Panthers are in that conversation. The Panthers are looking good with Brian Burns, Hassan Riddick. They're looking real. Yeah, Derek Brown. They're looking good over there. Anyway, so number 4, I'm going to throw in the Cardinals. I'm going to throw in the Cardinals number 4. Kyler Murray's a stud. And the defense is playing a lot better than most people thought it was going to. Not like they did get a lot of points scored on them against the Vikings. They should have lost to the Vikings. That missed field goal. What was it, like a 35-yard field goal?
Yeah.
But Kyler Murray, I still love Kyler Murray because he's like one of the few mobile quarterbacks that just doesn't take hits because he's so elusive and he makes sure like he doesn't do anything stupid to take the hits, which I just love about Kyler Murray. And so many weapons. Of course, D-Hop, A.J. Green, Christian Kirk's over there. I love Rondell Moore. I liked him coming out of college. But again, he was another guy that I was like, we didn't really need him. Well, now I wish we did have him because Curtis Samuel isn't playing. But he was kind of that Curtis Samuel type role. Anyway, and then number 5, I'm gonna give him credit because they did destroy the Saints. So I'm gonna take the Panthers at number 5, and then like my honorable mentions, I got the Bills and the Chiefs. I think they're right there knocking on the door. Even the Chiefs, I just can't put a 1 and 2 team in my top
in the
5.
top
but the
5,
Chiefs,
it's just hard.
Yeah, the Chiefs are still going to be in the conversation when it's all
If
said
we
and
were
done.
to have like a series, like basketball, like you have to do at least win best 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs may win that, but it's just like with them being 1 and 2, I just can't have them in my top 5 as well.
Yeah, and I just don't know what to believe. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, you good. I was gonna say something about the Cardinals.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know what I believe in the AFC West yet. I don't know what to believe yet. I mean, the Raiders are doing good things, and they beat good teams. They beat the Ravens, the Steelers, and then who they beat this week? Well, they struggled against Jacoby Brissett and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They barely beat them, 31-28? So, I don't know. I mean, the Raiders are doing great things. Derek Carr's playing well, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm still in a wait and see with them. The Broncos have played hot garbage. Who was their week 2? I think it was Jacksonville. They played Jets, Jacksonville. Their teams are 0-3. All 3 teams that they've played, okay? I don't know about the Broncos yet. And I think the Broncos are a good team. I think I projected them to go like 10-7, or like 11-5, somewhere in there. So I think they're a good team, but I got to see something against a different opponent before I start worrying about them. The Chargers, though, are a really good team as well. I like them as Justin Herbert. But all right, what were you going to say about the Cardinals?
I think the Cardinals, when they're at their best, they're a top 3 team. It's just I don't know. I don't take Minnesota that seriously. So the fact that they should have lost that game is what scares me. Without that on their record, I easily had them in my top 5. And again, I think when they're at their best, when everything's clicking, I mean, now that you can't double team Chandler Jones and shift the offense towards him because you got J.J. Watt on the other side, he's finally getting the media coverage that he's been deserved. And now that their young linebackers are starting to play well, Isaiah Simmons is supposed to be. I mean, we were having people having arguments about Isaiah Simmons, Chase Young, and then it looked obvious that we were supposed to take Chase Young over Isaiah Simmons. But now Isaiah Simmons playing well, Chase Young isn't necessarily.
I swear,
right
I think
now.
if you go back and look at my Skins in the Games talks with my dad, or at least I don't know if I said it before. No, you know what? I wouldn't have said it before because I didn't start it until after the draft. But I know, and I don't have proof of this, but I did say I wanted to trade back and take Isaiah Simmons and add another pick to take try to take a tackle, like maybe a Tristan Wirfs or in that draft or something like that. Because I needed a tackle. Yeah,
How
so
much
I
of a
wanted to
genius
trade
you would have
back.
looked like right now.
Yeah, and but I was definitely on board with trading back, and because I loved Isaiah Simmons coming out. He didn't have a good rookie year, but apparently he's playing much better this year, so good for them. But yeah, they're a top 3 pick. Like you're saying, they were a top 3 team in your opinion?
Yeah, it's just hard. That Vikings game does scare me. But I think when they're at
offensively,
their
though, the
best,
Vikings are good. Offensively.
Yeah. But I don't know how much I should take them seriously, just as far as like being a playoff contender. But yeah, no, without a doubt, Cardinals when they're on it, they're easily top 5, definitely, arguably top 3, definitely for sure. When they're on it, everybody's healthy. That is a terrible team to go against. Right now, the NFC West is easily the best division in football. Yeah. I mean, the fact that are the Seahawks the 4th best team? Like that is
2-1, I think.
That is crazy.
Or the Niners.
1-2.
What are they? Seahawks. Oh no, wait, Seahawks are 1-2. 1-2. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly what I thought they'd be.
Yeah, because they lost to the Vikings this week.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who they lost to week 1.
They lost to the Vikings?
Yeah, like it was bad too. It was like it was pretty bad. It wasn't even really close.
I almost always want to trade back. So many busts get picked, and then, I mean, there's certain times that like I want to go get my guy, but I mean, obviously it's nice when you can add a guy that you really like and add picks, similar to what the Dolphins did or the Eagles did. They traded back and still got the quote unquote guy they wanted, but in that scenario, I just loved Isaiah Simmons coming out of Clemson, and I wanted him.
He was the most fun non-quarterback player to watch to me that season. I liked watching him more than I like watching the running backs coming out because he just was everywhere.
Oh, everywhere. I mean, literally 6'4", running a 4.4. I like, sign me up, please. Sign me up.
I don't even remember him coming out of high school. Like, where was I when he was getting recruited? Where was all of that athleticism?
He was a safety. He wasn't a linebacker. He moved to linebacker at Clemson.
Okay.
So I think he gained a little weight, and then they moved him to linebacker. But he came in as a safety.
Okay, bet. I think Jonathan Allen went to Alabama as a linebacker. I think like an off-ball linebacker or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, and then moved
now
to
he's a
defensive
D
tackle. He
tackle.
gained weight. Yeah, it's crazy.
He was a D end at Alabama when he was good. Like when he actually showed up on the team. Now he's a D tackle. Yeah, versatile. That's why Ron paid him so much money.
Yep.
All right. So the last thing we're gonna go to do, and then we'll get out of here, is as I said, Chris and I like to pick every game going into this week, and Rico said he's gonna hang out with us and also pick the game. So let's do
Yes, sir.
this thing. All right. So the first game we got Jacksonville versus Bengals. What do you got, Rico?
I got to take the Bengals. They looked really good against the Steelers. Now, granted,
I'm kidding. It's Jacksonville. Of course they're taking them.
I'm saying no. Granted, the Steelers' offense is just. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger is just. I mean, it's even worse than the shell of himself. He's horrible. But
All right, Chris,
the Bengals actually look pretty good.
No, I got the Bengals.
Trying to set them up.
Right now we have a bet going. At the end of the year, we're going to buy a nasty bottle of hot sauce, and the loser's going to have to drink a shot of hot sauce at the end of the year.
Oh, I'm about to lead this stream right now.
Not you. Not you. It's just between me and Chris. Actually, no, you just got into it. And we're going to start you at 0 wins, so you're about 30 games behind. So, no. All right, next game. We already talked about Washington and Atlanta. We all said Atlanta, right? No, I'm just kidding. Washington.
Oh, wait, man. It caught me off guard.
I'll stop. Probably not. All right. We got next game is the Texans versus the Bills.
Bills gonna beat the crap out of them.
That's Bills, man. Oh my lord! If they don't beat them, I feel like it's something personal. If they don't beat them,
this is gonna be a tough week to pick games. But no, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, if they don't beat them bad, or maybe even worse than how they beat us, I think it's something personal between us and them for beating them in the Super Bowl, bro.
One of those 4 teams or 3 teams, the 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
All right.
Babies.
The Detroit Lions versus the Bears.
That was a tough one for me.
Tough.
Because
I mean, the Lions are playing better, but the Bears are more talented.
I'm gonna say Justin Fields don't go out like that. Justin Fields taking that game. Justin Fields not gonna go out like that.
I want to pick them so bad. If I had to put money, because I'm rooting for the Bears to win it, of course. Y'all know I love Justin Fields, even though he transferred away. I think I'm gonna take Detroit. I'm sorry, they're just playing better. They just look better. The Bears are more talented.
I took Detroit too. I wrote it down. I got the Lions.
Come on, Fields.
It's not that I don't like Fields, but freaking the offensive line can't protect anybody. Matt Nagy is a joke. Like, screw horrible. Matt Nagy. He's got to get fired. Okay, I'm doing this for the Bears' sake. All right, the Bears are gonna lose this game, so that they just can't bring back Nagy. They can't do it. What's that?
Said A-Rod might request a trade.
Dude, he didn't want to go back this year.
If Matt Nagy loses this game and he still has a job the next Monday, the Bears. If I'm a Bears fan, or if I'm talking to a Bears fan, you just got to leave. You got to jump ship. Like, you just can't have that nonsense of just mediocrity at its finest. It's just so bad for this. Anyway, all right, next game. We got the Panthers versus the Cowboys.
I got Dallas. I don't want to pick them, but I want to pick the Panthers, but I want to be right. So I'll be rooting for the Panthers, but I'm going to say Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, that hot sauce is real, man. I'm going Cowboys. I'm going Cowboys as well. I'm sorry.
I'm taking those Panthers. Give me those Panthers.
Okay.
I got them.
I feel it.
The Panthers beat them, I'll be happy.
Oh, man. Celebration.
I think they can actually get after Dak. And
that'll put us. No. So we can split. We'll be tied for the division because we both have a division win.
True.
Yeah, if we win and they win.
No, we win and they lose.
Yeah,
we tied for number 1.
And who's their other win? They would be ahead of us by a game because they, like opponents, they would beat the Chargers. So they would be ahead of us on the tie.
Oh, yeah. It gets to all the little minuscule details when you start to do tiebreakers.
Yep. The craziness. And then I think the last tiebreaker is a coin flip, actually. Did you know that? It's never come down to that.
Crazy. I know they did it for the draft pick, but I didn't know they did it for like division winners too.
I'm pretty sure. Or maybe was it the draft pick? I thought it was the division or the playoffs, whatever implication, if you have like everything tied, like 13, 14 things, the last thing's just a coin flip. Could you imagine? All right, we got Colts versus Dolphins. Two teams
This one
underperforming.
is so hard to choose.
Uh-huh.
I was going back and forth just like 2 days. I'm like, the
Bro,
Dolphins.
Who's at home?
We
That
got the
matters a
Dolphins
lot.
at home. Dolphins at home. Chris, you go first. Chris, you go first.
Chris, you got it, man. It's all you. The spotlight on you.
I see none of you wanted to pick, so I was like, all right, somebody's got to go.
I'm gonna have to go with the Colts. I just refuse to believe a team that talented is going on full. It can't happen. Carson Wentz got to do something. Or put in my boy Ellinger. Carson Wentz got to do something.
Your boy Ellinger. He loves Ellinger.
I'm gonna go with Dolphins just off of the fact that Jacoby Brissett used to play for the Colts. He actually played pretty well for a little bit. He had me on I had him on my fantasy team. He kind of actually bailed me out a couple of games. It didn't last long, but he had a small little streak I think in the beginning of the season a couple of years ago. But I think players go to other teams and share information on that. Say, oh, this is what they love to do with this player with these schemes. I think that may help them enough. Again, I'm going with the home team on this one. I'm saying all of that. I'm just going home team. Like,
I'm gonna concoct some reason over here, but in reality, I basically flipped a coin. I got to the 14th thing and I just flipped a coin in my head. Right, the tiebreaker won. No, I take the Colts. I 1,000 have the same exact reason as Chris. I liked the Colts coming into this year. I just don't see them going 0-4. I just can't. I can't buy into it. I can't do it. So I also have the Colts. All right, next game. We got the Browns versus the Vikings.
Browns are going to spank them.
Browns here too.
Browns, yeah, we're going to do a Browns sweep. We all got the Browns on that one. All right. And now we got the Giants versus Saints.
Saints.
Rico?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Saints. Jameis just don't throw that touchdown where he was halfway to the ground and threw it or whatever. Please just stop those. It worked. It worked last game. Don't do it anymore. I got the Saints. I got the Saints.
All right, I as well. All right, this one we got Titans versus the Jets.
Titans.
It got it.
You know what? Because I don't think Julio and AJ Brown playing, and Titans defense is terrible. So this can be Jets' first win potentially.
You taking the Jets?
Good point.
I'm not taking the Jets.
I was so happy to write that one down. I was gonna write that one down. Yeah, I wrote the TIT on there, and I was gonna make that T into a J and that I into an E so fast.
I'm gonna go with Titans. I can't do the Jets right now, but I would not be surprised if the Jets win that game.
I agree. Like if there were a game for them to bounce back with the Titans having all of those injuries, this would be it. But it's just no way I can bet the Jets on anything in life right now.
Hey, is Derrick Henry playing?
Yeah.
Enough
He
said.
probably will 500 rushing yards. He probably will break the record.
That's all I needed to hear. Who's gonna stop him on the Jets? Nobody. Nobody's stopping him on the Jets. All right. We got the next game. We got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Eagles, the 2 1-2 burgers.
Well, those are two completely different 1 and 2s.
What made me so mad, I thought about like if the Eagles win this game, how much of an upset would that be?
Man,
like if they win this game, the Chiefs got bounced back.
I hope the Eagles do win this game because I honestly love Pat Mahomes. I mean, who doesn't at this point? But I love Pat Mahomes. I want to see. I want to see Pat Mahomes like start the year off like 1-5, and then just come roaring back, and then they end up 12-5, and then they win the Super Bowl, and it's just another freaking check mark next to Pat Mahomes. That is just like a crazy story.
That would be fun.
I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm not going crazy now. I'm not going.
Same
crazy.
here, please.
Eagles are gonna get destroyed.
All right, we got the Cardinals versus Rams. Going for that top of the division, 2 3-0
Going
teams.
Rams. Pretty big, actually.
No.
Because
Rams,
you know what? I picked the Rams, but I think this is gonna be the first game D-Hop just cooks Jalen Ramsey. Because the first couple meetings, D-Hop didn't really have Kyler. Like Kyler was injured one, and in the other game he didn't play. I think this is the game that D-Hop rise and shine in. But I got the Rams. They just got too much.
Got it. All right. I am also going to go Rams. I said prior to the Bucks versus Rams game, I said whoever wins that game is going to be the last team undefeated. So I got the Rams going for a while. I don't know who's going to be the last. They're not going to go undefeated, but I'm just saying they're going to be the last team without a loss on their record. So I don't know who's going to knock them out, but they're going to go undefeated for quite some time. All right. The Seattle Seahawks and Niners, another division game.
I got Seattle.
Seattle.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'll probably go with 49ers. And just bank on Jimmy not being Jimmy. Dang, that's crazy though. The Seahawks being what? That would make them 1-3.
3.
Yep.
Whew, that's tough. I'm gonna have to go 49ers though. I want my boy Trey Lance to get in the game, get like a random rushing touchdown or something. Dang, the 49ers just drop like flies, man. You never know who's gonna get hurt game to game. I'm gonna go 49ers though. I'm gonna stick with it. Stick with it.
All right. I also have the 49ers, so Chris and I are different on that one. I got the 49ers. All right. The Ravens versus Broncos.
This is a tough one for me.
It's very tough. Broncos are at home.
That might come down to a field goal.
I can see that for sure. The Ravens have they blown anybody? I think they played all of their games close, no matter how good or how bad.
Overtime against even Detroit Lions, they came down to that 66-yard field goal. So and then they beat the Chiefs by 1 point in the overtime versus the Raiders. Yep. So who do you guys got?
I'm going Ravens. I'm going Ravens.
Ravens, okay.
I'm gonna have to go with the Bronx.
The Bronx. I actually go with the Broncos.
The Ravens are on borrowed time. With that field goal,
how many injuries they have? Oh my god! That field goal saved my parlay. I bet a big like 5-way parlay, and I won. It saved it with that 66-yard.
Miles Boykin coming back, so that's tough. I'm going with the Broncos.
All right, Broncos. I also went with the Broncos. All right, so we got a couple more games here. We got Pittsburgh versus the Packers.
Packers, easily, please.
All right,
they're going to beat the crap out of the Steelers.
I also got the Pack. Go, Pack, go. All right, so clean sweep on that one. 2 games left. We got the Sunday night game. We got Tom Brady returning to Foxborough. Buccaneers versus Patriots.
And I think that game,
Rico's
that was
go
a tougher
first.
game. That was a tougher game for me to pick than I thought it would be. Especially going into the season, but I still have Buccaneers.
Buccaneers, all right.
But I don't think it's gonna be by as many points as I thought it. Like when I first looked at it before the season started, I thought the Buccaneers were just gonna run right through them. I don't think they're gonna run right through them. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go with the Mac Man.
Ooh.
Okay.
Big Mac. I'm actually just gonna write Big Mac in here.
He's gonna show Tom Brady that he's the new Tom Brady.
He's the new number. Whatever he is.
And I just believe Bill Belichick gonna have that team ready, cause he gonna want to beat him.
Ooh, undisputed crazy. The Patriots win. Ooh, the undisputed. Everybody's gonna be talking about that.
Oh, that's gonna be.
That's gonna be my.
And I feel like it's only if the Patriots beat the Bucks, because I feel like everybody's expecting the Bucks to beat the Patriots. But if the Patriots take them down, that's gonna be a fun week of meetings.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Jairus, if they can't block for Mac, they're going to lose ugly. Yeah, fair enough. The Mac Man. All right. The last game, Monday night, another division rival. We got the Raiders at the Chargers.
This one ended last year pretty good. Because I think it came down to Justin Herbert drive all the way down. It's going to be a tough one because this can be the first loss for the Raiders. So, I'm gonna have to go with Justin Herbert in there.
All right, I have the Chargers as well. What do you got, Rico?
That's a hard one.
It's difficult, but I'm gonna have to go Chargers as well.
Okay.
The Raiders have been playing very well, but Justin Herbert is just kind of different, and it's like if he wants to win a game, he can go win a game. And I don't think the Raiders are gonna go undefeated. They got to lose to somebody. I think the Chargers are a good enough team to be one of those teams they lose to.
That could be a shootout. I can see it being a shootout.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. All right, well, that was fun. We almost 2.5 hours. Jeez Louise, longest podcast yet. We got it with Street Scores. Thanks again for joining. I think that's pretty much everything I had to say and everything we had to talk about. So, any last things? Anything you want to shout out? I know you said you had some things going on. You going to the game on Sunday?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
I'm supposed to have like this special little section that my uncle-in-law has that like supposed to be somewhere. So I'm trying to go there. I'm gonna see what I can record. And I'm gonna try to put together some fun video of me antagonizing the fans and stuff, or my friends and all of that with my jerseys on and all of that. So that, just be prepared for that. Of course, just all Street Scores content. Coming out with a game preview tomorrow. Us talking it out the way we did, definitely got to shout y'all out because my notes are going to be so much more organized. And I'm definitely going to reference y'all. I'm like, Jared said this. Tim said this, you know what I'm saying, when I do it, because y'all help me basically organize my thoughts and get it out of my head because I normally do my previews every week, but this one's going to be so concise and smooth because we already talked. Y'all said things I wouldn't have thought of, so I got to shout y'all out big time for that, for sure. But man, definitely thanks for having me on here. Just let me know whenever you want to have me again. This was fun. Didn't feel like 2 hours and 30 minutes at all. So yeah, for sure. Just let me know anytime, man.
Sweet. Sounds good. Thanks for sure for coming by. Any last thoughts over there, Chris?
Salute, Rico. Salute. It's about time we got together.
Yeah, I actually asked Chris. I was like, "Hey, who do you want to have on the podcast?" And you were the first guy he typed into the chat, and I was like, "All right, I'll see what I could do if I could get him on the thing or not." And yeah, he ended up there. So thank you so much for stopping through.
Thank y'all.
And yeah, go Skins. And I hope that they bring you a win when you come. That should be fun. And have fun terrorizing the Atlanta Falcons.
I hate them
fans
more than I hate the Cowboys. I can't stand the Falcons, man. But I cannot lose to them, if anybody.
You're gonna get a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm actually having a Falcons fan on the channel Saturday evening, so he's gonna come on and preview the game with me. I think his name was Twisted TV, a smaller channel, maybe like 400 or 500 subs or something like that. I reached out to a bigger guy, I think Pound for Pound was his name, and then he wasn't available, so I was like, hey, who do you think would be a good? And he mentioned this guy, so we'll see how that one is. But yeah, it was so hopefully that comes out. We do play-by-plays on this channel. I do every Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night game, as well as the Skins. And yeah, that's tomorrow. So we got Jacksonville versus Bengals. We'll see Joe Burrow and company, Jamar Chase. We'll see how that goes. T-Law. So that should be fun. But yeah, so feel free to also, I don't know if you ever know, we have a Discord in the description of all my videos. If you hop in our Discord, you can chat with us. And also, if you ever feel like you want to hop in our, we usually go into the voice chat of the Discord and just as the play-by-play, if you want to hop in there and talk whatever the game's going on as well. Bet. You're always welcome to join in. I'll make sure you have there's tiers of people. I'll make sure to label you as one of those tiers that you can hop in, because we were getting some just random crap throwers
trolls
joining, just saying stupid stuff you shouldn't be saying on live stream, stuff like that. So I had to block some people, unfortunately. But anyway, all right, well, that was awesome. Thank you again for the show. Thanks again for coming on. Shout out to Street Scores on YouTube. Any other sites you want to shout out before we go?
Follow me on Twitter, Street Scores ATL, and that's about it. I'm about to get to Facebook and Instagram really rolling and all of that, but for now, YouTube and Twitter for sure.
All right, sweet. Yeah, go sub if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you have. He's got way more subs than me, but it's all in fun. So absolutely, thanks again for coming on. And
one thing I want to say,
go ahead.
you make long videos, and you probably the only outside of Tim, but Tim don't make that many long videos.
Yeah.
You the only person that I can watch the whole video, no matter
I
how long.
appreciate it.
I can
appreciate
literally,
it,
I
man.
sit in my car on the way to the gym and way home, and I can just play your junk the whole time, and I don't get bored at all.
I appreciate it. I mean, I even appreciate how organized this was with the notes and stuff. I write down a lot of my stuff that I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it used to take me like 5 hours to do a video because I literally wrote down the whole script. Now I've gotten it organized to where I do like an outline. I get all my research, my stats, and then I go point for point for point and kind of go off my head and freestyle some of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, between that editing and all of that, man, I'm just glad that people notice because, boy, 30 minutes worth of recording leads to like 3 hours of editing before I get the video out and stuff like that. So, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, editing is a biatch. It's
the
terrible.
Worst part.
Yep. I actually don't edit my videos too much. I usually just go and I just say, screw it. It is what it is. The only thing I edited is the intro, right? Like the little Sports Talk, and then I edit out the first, like, what, I don't know, 3 seconds of me breathing into the mic, and then the last couple of seconds hitting that end recording button. That's about it. That's the extent of my editing prowess. But no, it's a lot of fun. But thanks for coming on, and everybody else, thank you for being here. As I said, Roger Smith, Badis Fatfa, Unknown Isms here. Evangelina. There you go. I sounded it out, and I got there eventually. And everybody else that was here, Spoiled, everybody. It was a lot of fun, and thanks for coming on. And until next time, see ya!